Douluo, the sacred dragon staff. Hey, fanfic family. So glad to see you here again to continue this incredible adventure. As always, kindly remember, this story is 100% fiction, so don't go looking for dimensional portals in your closet. All rights to this fantastic novel belong to the original author. We're just your humble narrators of epic tales. Are you enjoying the fanfic? Show it by subscribing to our YouTube channel and dropping us a like. And if you're impatient for more exclusive content, our Patreon is your happy place. Chapter 51, Become a Disciple of Qianjin. Who are you, Your Majesty? It's inappropriate to joke with a junior like that, Li Yusong's thoughts raced. This person couldn't possibly be from the Haoshan sect. The only middle-aged title Douluo in the Haoshan sect were Tang Xiao and Tang Hao. Tang Hao was still looking at Tang Sen, so Tang Xiao definitely wasn't level 96 at that point. Li Yusong suspected it was another title Douluo. He was extremely nervous about level 96 title Douluo. The only person he could think of was Jian Douluo, but that person's domineering spirit power lacked the sharpness of a sword, so he ruled it out immediately. Could it be one of them? I'm not here to kill you. I'm merely interested in you, young man. However, your performance and combat prowess just now have my approval, Qianjin Douluo said with a smile. He set Li Yusong on the ground and folded his black robe. The figure before Li Yusong had a black bun, gray blue eyes, and a scar over his right eye. He was handsome and tall. He wore golden armor, a purple offering robe, and a purple turban, signifying his status as an offering, distinct from the black robes worn by the Soul Daulus and the red robes worn by the elders. I am the sixth offering master of the Spirit Hall, titled Qianjin. According to intelligence from the Spirit Hall, a talented spirit master with a mutated dragon-patterned staff is in conflict with Poison Douluo's granddaughter. His second spirit ring is a 1,000-year-old spirit ring. He achieved high-level spirit master status at the age of 12. I'm eager to see if you're worthy of inheriting my mantle. So far, it seems you're quite worthy of my attention, Qianjin Douluo spoke cheerfully. Unlike his younger brother, demon-subduing Douluo, he possessed a calm and composed personality, skilled at holding back and seizing opportunities. Li Yusong's taunting had created an opening for himself, which suited him perfectly. Greetings, Your Majesty. I beg for your forgiveness for my rude words just now. Li Yusong gave Qianjin Douluo a soul master salute, the usual basic respect for the powerful. Courtesy is always welcome. Rise up. I don't have that much pretense here. I'm interested in taking you on as my disciple. What do you think? Qianjin Douluo spoke bluntly. Your Majesty, what are the conditions? Li Yusong was no fool. A level 96 Super Douluo offering to become his master out of nowhere must have conditions. Of course, joining the Spirit Hall, Qianjin Douluo stated bluntly. I understand, but I'm not very fond of the current Pope, Bibi Dong. I don't want to work for her, Li Yusong spoke bluntly. He'd better stay away from that crazy woman, Bibi Dong. Their spirit hall was already rife with internal strife, so why get involved? Well, our worship hall is not affiliated with a pope. It's the Jin family of the Spirit Hall's 6 winged angels who need your service. Our young lady is very interested in you and wants to recruit you. I saw the news and came to see. Qianjin Douluo didn't say much, but Li Yusong already knew. He wanted him to pledge allegiance to Jin Ringsu. He felt quite sorry for Jin Ringsu. She was exceptionally gifted, born with a golden spoon in her mouth. Her innate full soul power reached level 20, and her divine spirit, the Seraphim, was incredibly talented. It was a shame she couldn't defeat the third cheater. Her family perished, her home was destroyed, her divine position shattered. And her soul power stopped at level 89. It's not impossible to pledge allegiance to her, but I don't want to be seen openly right now. Supporting her secretly is best. I suspect she's in Xiandao City, or perhaps she's already contacted me and wants to recruit me. However, she hasn't said it out loud, so she probably has her own difficulties. It's best not to get too close to her, as this might arouse suspicion. Just tell her I agree. We can discuss the details after we talk. After all, I'm just a genius, not a powerful being. Li Yusong's words startled Qianjin Douluo. With just these words, he guessed Jin Ringsu was in Xiandao City and had met him. He probably already had a rough idea of who she was. Such a clever person didn't say the full truth. If she couldn't be tamed, it would be best to let her disappear. Okay, I'll tell the young lady. Young man, please become my disciple, Qianjin Douluo agreed, immediately inviting Li Luochen to become his disciple. Disciple Li Luochen greets the master. Li Luochen bowed deeply to Qianjin Douluo. Okay, here's my newly created staff technique, the Qianjin staff technique, along with my cultivation tips and my staff technique tips. Go back and practice it. I'll come check on it later when I have time. Qianjin Douluo took out a book and handed it to Li Luochen. Thank you, master. Li Luochen took it. What he needed most right now was improvement in his staff technique. He had already mastered his grandfather's dragon pattern staff technique, but creating his own was a bit of a mystery. Qianjin Douluo arrived at the perfect time, a real relief. Haha, that's all for today. I'm leaving now. From now on, I'll check on your staff technique regularly. Don't let me down. Qianjin Douluo's stern voice echoed again before disappearing. Li Luochen didn't think much of it and simply turned back to Shrek Academy. Tonight had been quite a novelty. After leaving, Qianjin Douluo headed straight for Xiandao City. He was going to tell Jin Ringsu that Li Luochen had been subdued. In Xiandao City, Master Zhu, after a tiring day at the prince's mansion, finally left work. Handling state affairs was exhausting. After defeating 2 princes in a row, the crown prince had a lot on her plate. Young master, the 6th priest has arrived. He needs you. He's waiting in the secret chamber. The latest novels are released on the 6th book bar. A voice reached Jin Ringsu's ear, startling her. 6th grandfather is here? Is there something wrong? Jin Ringsu headed straight for the secret chamber she had built. It was the most secluded part of the prince's mansion, where she practiced, relaxed, and handled crucial matters. Entering the chamber, she said, 6th grandfather, why are you here? Jin Ringsu immediately returned to her normal self. She shook Qianjin Douluo's hand. The priests in the temple of worship were really kind to her. Every priest treated her like the apple of their eye. So Jin Ringsu was very polite to all the priests. They were all her good grandfathers. Haha, 6th grandpa stopped by this time to see how our Xiaoxu is doing. Alice, she looks much more haggard. If you are too tired, just go back to the worship hall. The plan to steal the country is really dispensable. Qianjin Douluo rubbed Jin Ringsu's head and said softly, Li Luochen, why are you so cold when talking to me? I am your dear disciple. No, 6th grandpa, Zuir is not the kind of person who likes to give up halfway. I will definitely be able to do it. Right, Grandpa Qianjin, is there anything you want? Jin Ringsu asked with a puzzled look. It's like this, didn't you block the information of a genius that day? This is what we in the worship hall think. Qianjin Douluo told her about how he left the spirit hall and went to Soto City in the Bara Kingdom to make Li Luochen, a genius, become his disciple and pledged allegiance to Jin Ringsu. Is that so? I was just trying to figure out how to recruit him, and it seems I've succeeded. As for the specifics of the negotiations he wants, I've agreed. Such a prodigy can't be exploited, we need to leave him some dignity, or it'll backfire. I'm going to win not only his body, but his heart, and make him work for me wholeheartedly, Jin Ringsu said sternly. Ha, Xiaoxu has grown up. Qianjin Douluo patted Jin Ringsu's head with a doting look. Chapter 52 Daily Life. Actually I couldn't think of the title. After Qianjin Douluo and Jin Ringsu finished discussing Li Luochen's situation, they returned to Wuhan City. Jin Ringsu began to consider how to truly subdue Li Luochen. She already knew that Li Luochen's true strength had reached the level of a high-level Soul Emperor. Even with her talent, she could rival a Soul Emperor, but she was currently a Soul King, possessing a divine-level spirit. It would be truly shameful if she couldn't defeat an enemy of a higher level, Kyank Sunji. 6. Sure enough, he's already achieved a 10,000-year 4th spirit ring, but how did he do it? I need to learn more. I must also master the method he's mastered for absorbing spirit rings beyond their levels. That woman has twin spirits, both top-tier beast spirits. Although I have a god-level spirit, my spirit ring configuration is inferior to hers. I guess I need to learn more. The ultimate Dauluos of my grandfather's generation, including Golden Crocodile Douluo, all achieved a 9th spirit ring of 100,000 years. I wonder if I can even attempt an 8th spirit ring of 100,000 years. Jin Ringsu pondered her own cultivation, and how to obtain the method for absorbing the transcendent spirit ring in Li Luochen's possession. Bara Kingdom, Soto City, Shrek Academy. Li Luochen had recently been reading through the staff technique left to him by Qianjin Douluo, which had greatly inspired him in this area. As expected of the two most skilled staff wielders in the current Douluo Soul Master world, they're truly capable of this. The dragon pattern staff technique is still too crude. Unlike a hammer, a staff lacks pure power, but it boasts a multitude of uses. It can be used to attack the enemy with 3/10 and retain 7/10 for yourself, but it depends on the actual combat, leaving some for defense and adaptability. The strength of staff techniques lies in their ability to deliver powerful attacks while also allowing for flexible response. They truly deserve to be called the foremost of all weapons. Over the next few days, Li Luochen practiced a 1004 staff technique, while Du Yuyan strengthened her melee attacks. 2 months later, Flanders returned with his teacher and students from their soul hunting expedition. Shrek's strength surged again. Oscar absorbed the 1000-year spirit ring beyond its limit, gaining the spirit skill, the divine swift mushroom sausage, allowing him to fly at the speed of a spine-tailed swift for a quarter of an hour. He could only produce 5 of these now. Oscar's spirit power reached level 26. The immortal herbs not only boosted spirit power, but also transformed the body, strengthening the foundation of a soul master. Ma Hongjin's soul power level reached 22. He also absorbed a spirit ring that had just passed its 1000-year-old age, gaining the spirit skill Phoenix Wings Sky Soaring, which amplifies his soul power. He can now fly for short periods, and while in Phoenix Wings Sky Soaring mode, his fire attribute spirit skills are 100% more powerful. In short, Ma Hongjin's strength has greatly improved. Furthermore, Oscar is now nearly 9 years old, and Ma Hongjin is 6.5. Li Luochen speculates that they can both reach Soul Master status before turning 12. Oscar might even break Li Luochen's record. Li Luochen speculates that by the time Tang Sen and his companions arrive at Shrek Academy, both Oscar and Ma Hongjin will be high-level Soul Masters. As for Xiaozin, his soul power has reached 73. The medicinal power of the 9th grade Ginseng King greatly aids in boosting his soul power. Obtaining his 7th soul ring increases it by 1 level, and the medicinal power increases by 2 levels. Xiaozin's 7th soul skill, the universal sugar bean, boosts all attributes by 50%, a peak level increase for a soul master. This means that if Flanders consumes it, he can unleash a full 150% combat power. However, it only lasts for 5 minutes. During this time, Flanders gave Zhao Wuji the earth brown bear trunk bone, a soul bone perfectly suited to Zhao Wuji. Zhao Wuji practically knelt before Flanders, and after absorbing it, Zhao Wuji's soul power reached level 77. Within 3 years, Zhao Wuji should be able to become a Soul Douluo, which would give Shrek Academy 2 Soul Douluos. By then, Lu Qibin and Li Yusong would have reached Soul Sage, significantly strengthening the faculty at Shrek Academy. The 3 teaching committee members at Xiandao Royal Academy, Meng Shenji, a level 86 Soul Douluo, Bai Baoshan, a level 85 Soul Douluo, and Zilin, a level 83 Soul Douluo, didn't seem to have the best soul ring configurations. However, these Soul Douluos were kind people, true leaders in the Soul Master world, dedicated to training the next generation. I wonder if we can recruit them to Shrek Academy? Although Flanders was only at level 82, he was no less powerful than Meng Shenji. He possessed 4 soul bones, including a 50,000-year-old right arm bone and a 15,000-year-old skull bone. His configuration was truly exceptional. Zhao Wuji also possessed a torso bone, and once he reached the Contra level, he was no match for the established Contras. They absorbed all 4,000-year-old soul bones Flanders brought back. Xiaozin received a skull bone, Zhao Wuji a left arm bone, and Lu Qibin a right leg bone. Li Yusong was the luckiest. His 1,000-year-old soul bone was of the highest quality, a nearly 10,000-year-old 9,000-year-old left arm bone from a golden python, a powerful sub-dragon soul beast. This suited Li Yusong perfectly. Li Luochen wanted to rant. This Tyrannosaurus Rex was not only a philanthropist, but also had a remarkable diet, essentially feeding on soul beasts of high bloodline levels. Grandpa Li Yusong absorbed this soul bone, boosting his soul power by about half a level. He'll be able to break through to Soul Sage in about 6 months. When that happens, I'll ask Dugubo to prepare a suitable 50,000-year-old soul beast for Li Yusong. The latest novel will be released on the 69th book forum. An 8th soul ring of 80,000 years old might help Li Yusong's future cultivation go more smoothly. Now that peace has returned to the academy, Li Luochen took the time to discuss the matter with Flanders. After all, Flanders is now capable of knowing something, and he should be able to spot the next time 1,000 Jun Douluo arrives. I see, then. The 1,000 Jun monarch will accept you as his apprentice. I understand. These monarchs have quirky personalities. Let's talk to the monarch Douluo next time he returns. Flanders, who had been feeling a bit elated about his rapid rise in strength, was doused in dismay by this news. At Shrek Academy, only Flanders and Douluo knew that Li Yusong had defected to young master of the Spirit Hall. But that wasn't a big deal. He was still a prodigy. All he needed to do was cultivate and profit. If not now, when? Li Yusong pondered. Within the yin-yang eye of ice and fire, there was a radiant herb, the 8-angled sunflower. He considered trading this herb with Jinringsu for a high-quality torso bone for Douluo. He believed the Hall of Worship must have a wealth of spirit bones, even 100,000-year-old ones. The herbs that could enhance Jinringsu's aptitude should be a problem in exchange for a 90,000-year-old sub-dragon torso bone. Although Douluo was already a super Douluo, with a spirit power of level 95 and combat power comparable to that of a level 96, thanks to his Haoshan Wuji Guang, his spirit power reserves were comparable to those of a level 97 super Douluo. However, Li Yusong still felt insecure. He wasn't sure if Jinringsu was worth the investment. P.S. The following chapters will tell about Douluo's wonderful adventure. Chapter 53 Douluo vs. Zhu Douluo, I. Elsewhere, somewhere in the Heaven Dao Empire, Douluo, having left Shrek Academy, was now revisiting the continent. After all, after level 95, each level up represents a comprehension of the spirit. At the Super Douluo level, the spirit evolves with each level up. Super Douluos possess a profound understanding of their spirits. The energy boost from spirit rings like twin spirits doesn't count. When was the last time I traveled around the continent? It seems like it's been several decades. When I reached the Soul Emperor level, I was already in excruciating pain from snake venom. The same happened to Zyner. I've been looking for a way to detoxify Zyner and my daughter-in-law. It's a pity that I found it only now. If it had been a few years earlier, Yanyan wouldn't be without her parents. Alice, I've become sentimental now. My nickname is Poison Douluo. People in the world fear and respect me, and I don't like talking to others. I've been alone all this time, but now Yanyan has found a boyfriend, and I can rest assured. Zyachin is also a person worthy of trust. All I can do now is to protect them from the wind and rain. After lamenting his life, Douluo now travels around the continent again, not knowing where to start. Let's go find Zhihuaguan first. He chased me and beat me all the way back then because I stole a few herbs. Is that necessary? He's held me down for so many years, and now we're both level 95, let's see who's stronger. After beating Zhihuaguan, let's go to the beach. Luo Chen said that the whale glue, or brain, produced by sea soul beasts is a rare treasure that can enhance physical strength. This time, I'm going to get some 10,000-year-old whale glue. This will also help improve Yanyan's physical fitness. It will probably take another year for Yanyan to break through to the soul sect, so I can wander around for 6 months and see if I can get more whale glue. After 6 months, I'll go back and help Yanyan obtain her 4th spirit ring. That soul beast Luo Chen mentioned is 10,000-year-old and can rival a 100,000-year-old soul beast. We can't afford to be careless. Douluo formulated a plan and headed straight for the distance, but he had to defeat Zhihuaguan again beforehand. In the Spirit Hall and the Pope's Hall, Zhu Douluo, who had just delivered documents, suddenly felt a chill on his back, as if he was being watched. Old Chrysanthemum, what's wrong with you? Ghost Douluo, standing on the other side, asked, watching the shivering Zhu Douluo. Nothing, old ghost. I think I didn't sleep well. Things might be a bit busy today, so I'm going out for some fresh air. Old ghost, you handle the Pope's affairs, said Zhu Douluo, clad in golden armor and red robes, as he headed out of the Pope's palace. Okay, Ghost Douluo agreed, escaping into the darkness to find Bibi Duong to inform her old partner that he needed some fresh air. Leaving the Pope's palace, Zhu Douluo looked up at the azure sky and took a deep breath. Lucky to have that old ghost holding me up. What should I do? Go give old Poison a try. It's been a while since I last beat him up. Zhu Douluo flew out of Wuhan City and headed towards the territory of the Heaven Dao Empire. Coincidentally, Douluo was also heading somewhere at the same time, so their paths were bound to cross. Perhaps it was a mutual admiration between rivals. 2 days later, Douluo and Zhu Douluo ran into each other in a spirit beast forest. Douluo looked at the flamboyant man before him. Yu Guan's skin looked as delicate as a baby's, and his alluring features evoked a unique aura. His voice made it impossible to discern his age, and if it weren't for the Adam's apple on his neck, no one would have mistaken him for a man. He wore a crimson gown, the kind only titled Douluo could wear. The gown was inlaid with the gold and silver patterns, and the gleaming golden gem on his chest, the size of a baby's fist, radiated an air of luxury. Douluo's eyes, which had returned to normal, now glowed green again, like a venomous snake stalking its prey. Meanwhile, Yu Guan, facing him, initially felt a sense of familiarity at the middle-aged man with the black beard and hair. It wasn't until the man's eyes turned green that he recognized him. "Hey, old poisonous creature, how dare you appear before me? Do you think I haven't taught you enough?" Yu Guan said, the aura of a level 95 Super Douluo radiating from him. He had assumed Douluo was still the disgrace of the title Douluo, but he hadn't realized that Douluo was no longer the same. HMPH, Chrysanthemum Pass. I was still trying to figure out how to find you, and you've actually shown up. Today, I'm going to turn this chrysanthemum of yours into a rotten chrysanthemum, Douluo cursed coldly. Bah! Don't call me Chrysanthemum Pass. You're courting death, old poisonous creature, Zhu Douluo erupted. He hated being called Chrysanthemum Pass the most, except for Old Ghost. Fifth soul skill, Gathering of Frost Blossoms. Zhu Douluo condensed a sharp blade formed from the petals of a strange, celestial chrysanthemum in his hand and slashed at Douluo HMPH. Mystifying. Fifth soul skill, Snake Python Heavenly Shield. Douluo summoned the golden phosphorus Snake King. The king coiled its body and formed a green energy shield, transforming it into a plant-based broadsword. What? Old poisonous creature, when did you become level 95? Zhu Douluo couldn't believe it. 2 years ago, he'd fought old poisonous creature, and together with Ghost Douluo, he'd beaten Douluo to near death. If Prince Zuxing hadn't appeared and rescued Douluo, Douluo would have most likely perished. HMPH, none of your business. Douluo charged forward to engage Zhu Douluo in close combat. Although his spirit had evolved, not in the direction of a dragon, the Earth Dragon Golden Guard had brought him significant benefits. His spirit's defense and strength had been greatly increased, and he now had an affinity for Earth. Douluo was arguably the strongest snake-type title Douluo on the continent, and he desperately wanted to test his melee prowess. The latest novel was released on the 6th book bar. Zhu Douluo happened to be a Super Douluo of the power attack system, and Douluo wanted to test his prowess. Douluo launched a powerful punch at Zhu Douluo, who blocked it with his chrysanthemum blade. Feeling the power of Douluo's punch, Zhu Douluo thought to himself, this old poison creature's agility, speed, and strength have all greatly improved. What happened to him? Wasn't he deeply poisoned? How did the hidden danger of the poison disappear, and his martial soul undergo such a transformation? His soul power has also increased significantly. Could it be a fairy-grade herb? This old poison creature is so lucky. The two Super Douluos engaged in a close combat that was too intense to see clearly. Zhu Douluo retreated to create distance. 6th soul skill, Golden Core Floating Clouds. The massive Kefu Tongshan chrysanthemum in front of Zhu Douluo emitted a dazzling golden light and shot towards Douluo hell. 4th soul skill, Corrosive Poison. Superimposed with a green phosphorus Snake King poison, a double poison, Douluo immediately unleashed his innate snake venom in the corrosive poison of his 4th soul skill. The double poison greatly increased the toxicity and also had corrosive properties. This old poison creature's toxicity is getting stronger and stronger. Damn it. I can't lose like this. Zhu Douluo was unwilling to lose to Douluo. This was something he couldn't accept. He was deeply displeased that the title Douluo, whom he had always chased and beaten, was now suppressing him. Old poisonous creature, don't be too happy. Even if your snake venom is powerful, I'm a level 95 Super Douluo. Zhu Douluo's words were filled with pride. Hell, Zhuhuagwen, it's unfortunate that I'm also level 95. You're doomed this time. Chapter 54 Douluo vs Zhu Douluo, Part 2. That's right, Zhu Douluo Yu Guan thought to himself. He'd once been able to keep up with Douluo because of his superior soul power, but now that advantage was gone. HMPH, old poisonous creature, don't get too cocky. 7th soul skill, Martial Soul True Form. A massive purple chrysanthemum grew even larger, and instead of soft petals, they formed sharp blades. A strange, sky-high, indestructible, top-tier plant-type martial soul. How? 7th soul skill, martial soul true form. Douluo similarly unleashed his 7th soul skill, transforming into a massive snake about 30 meters long. Calling it a snake wouldn't be accurate. Its head was a dragon's head, and its tail had become a dragon's. Its emerald green scales had turned golden, a truly beautiful sight. Sure enough, this old poisonous creature's martial soul has evolved. The jade phosphorus serpent king was already the king of snakes, and he's managed to evolve again. He must have consumed a dragon-attributed immortal herb. 8th soul skill, 1,000-foot-long stream of light. Douluo unleashed his 8th soul skill, and its petals flashed with golden light, attacking Douluo. Douluo used the skill of the 70,000-year-old sky eagle's left leg bone to increase his speed, repeatedly dodging Douluo's attacks and draining his soul power. Old poisonous creature, is all you can do to hide? You coward, Douluo shouted. Douluo pretended he hadn't heard him, dodging and searching for a flaw. Suddenly, Douluo was behind Douluo, and a beam of white light shot out from the golden phosphorus snake emperor's eyes. Oh no, that's Medusa's gaze. Douluo immediately realized that Douluo was looking for an opportunity to use his skull skill. Douluo struggled to block Medusa's gaze with his martial spirit. As he fended off the petrifying beam, a sinister voice echoed in his ears, "Chrysanthemum Gate, you've exposed a flaw." 6th soul skill, phosphorus snake emperor break. Douluo had already used the extreme speed of the sky eagle's left leg bone to once again reach Douluo's back. A single powerful blow knocked him over. Ah, old poison king, how despicable. Douluo, hearing Douluo's stubborn words, unleashed a 50,000-year-old mandragora snake king's left arm bone, snake king binding. Several green snake shadows bound Douluo's body, emitting a paralyzing and numbing toxin. To ensure sufficient toxicity, Douluo also employed the 70,000-year-old infinite poison python's right arm bone ability, increasing the poison's power by 200%. This time, the paralyzing and numbing toxins of Snake King binding were enough to paralyze a tidal Douluo. Douluo felt powerless, like a lamb to the slaughter. Old Poison King, I'm an elder of the Spirit Hall, don't mess with me, Douluo said, his voice threatening. How, Jahuagwan, I don't want your life. I just want to settle our grievances with you, Douluo said coldly, clenching his fist. Don't come over here. Douluo's fists rained down on Douluo like a violent storm, mostly hitting his alluring face. After beating him for about half an hour, Douluo left, feeling refreshed. The poison in Douluo's body would wear off in 2 minutes, and Douluo, feeling relieved, walked away with a ruthless gait. Not long after Douluo left, Douluo, his face bruised and swollen, stood up. Hiss, that old poisoner was really ruthless. Damn it. Next time, I'll have to call Old Ghost to get even. Douluo sauntered towards Wuhan City. He had originally planned to beat Douluo to relax, but he was beaten instead, and his already bad mood worsened. Meanwhile, Douluo entered the territory of the Xingluo Empire, a larger territory than the Xiandao Empire. Douluo hadn't traveled there much, and this time he was mainly visiting the major coastal cities of the Xingluo Empire. Douluo planned to acquire some of the finest, 10,000-year-old whale glue for his granddaughter, and coastal cities were the most convenient. At that moment, Douluo exuded the aura of a Contra. His appearance had grown younger, and his spirit had transformed. While even sworn enemies like Jahuagwan would instantly recognize him, other powerful figures might not recognize him as the Poison Douluo, the world's most powerful poison master. Over the next few months, Douluo, acting as a high-ranking Contra, scoured the major coastal cities of Xingluo, acquiring 10,000-year-old whale glue on a massive scale. The best pieces so far were a single piece of 90,000-year-old whale glue, 3 pieces of 80,000-year-old whale glue, 6 pieces of 70,000-year-old whale glue, and a dozen pieces of 50,000-year-old whale glue. It was widely known that whale glue was merely aphrodisiac bedding, typically used by the extravagant nobility, who wouldn't have the courage to offend a powerful Contra master for a piece of premium whale glue. Even Douluo, a Contra who looked to be in his 30s, was subject to numerous rumors, questioning whether this seemingly 30-year-old Contra was incompetent or perhaps trying to establish a family, which was why he bought so much whale glue. Douluo paid no attention to these rumors. What did the whale glue bought by Green Dragon Soul Douluo, Douluo's alias, have to do with him, Poison Douluo? He had witnessed its efficacy firsthand. Douluo himself had used an 80,000-year-old whale glue, and the results were so remarkable that even a super Douluo could clearly feel the strengthening of his body. Impurities were eliminated, his skin became clearer, and his physical fitness improved. Even as a super Douluo, the premium whale glue still had its benefits. He couldn't wait to give the 90,000-year-old whale glue to his granddaughter. The latest novel is now available on the 69th book bar. Meanwhile, Douluo was strolling through Xinghe City, the largest coastal city in the Xingluo Empire. There was a martial soul main hall, headed by a high-level soul sage. "Hey, Green Dragon Soul Douluo, we sincerely invite you to help us hunt souls. We'll pay you 1 million gold soul coins for helping us hunt a 90,000-year-old sea soul beast." Douluo was strolling when someone suddenly called out to him. To be more precise, it was a group of over a dozen people. They were led by a level 92 titled Douluo, a level 90 quasi titled Douluo, 6 soul Douluos, and 10 high-level soul sages. This was a standard soul hunting team. These individuals had been observing Douluo for a long time and were very powerful soul Douluos. If they could be recruited, the chances of hunting a 90,000-year-old soul beast would greatly increase. Oh? Why me? Douluo was puzzled. He could tell at a glance the cultivation levels of these people. Their highest was only level 92, which was completely indistinguishable from his own. "I am a tribute of the Star Luo Empire, titled Sea Serpent. A quasi-titled Douluo of my Star Luo Empire needs to obtain the 9th Spirit Ring and requires your assistance. If successful, the Star Luo Empire will offer a huge reward. I hope you will take good care of yourself." The Sea Serpent Douluo, with his white hair and hunched body, looked even older than Douluo had been, appearing to be at least 100 years old. This quasi-titled Douluo, while seemingly in his 60s, was likely older, perhaps even older than Douluo. Douluo figured, since that was the case, he'd go and see. They were just working without putting in any effort. Even if they wanted to get rid of them, he had to see if they had any real purpose. Douluo nodded in agreement and headed out to sea with his soul hunters. If you are listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means it was downloaded and re-uploaded without effort. We warmly invite you to visit our channel, Fanfic World. There you will find the original version of this story and many other novels of various genres. We look forward to seeing you dive into a world of incredible novels. Chapter 55. 6 months later, surprise. 6 months later, Li Yusong was already 13 years old. His spirit power cultivation progressed slowly, rising only 1.5 levels, currently reaching level 45.5. However, his staff skills had improved considerably. Qianjin Douluo had visited twice during this period to teach Li Yusong his skills, using sparring sessions. Each sparring session with Qianjin Douluo was a revelation, and Li Yusong finally confirmed his chosen path in the art of staff. Du Yan had broken through 2.5 levels in the past 6 months, reaching level 39.5, almost 40. Douluo had promised to return in 6 months, and he should be back in the next couple of days. With the exception of Zhao Wuji, who reached level 78, after adding half a level to his torso bone, none of the Shrek Academy teachers had broken through in the past 6 months. Oscar and Ma Hongjin's primary training task during this period was to quickly master their rapidly increasing spirit power. After all, Oscar was only 9, and Ma Hongjin only 7, both powerful great spirit masters. Improving too quickly isn't a good idea. They've been laying the foundation for the past 6 months, with Oscar strengthening his physical training and combat skills. Becoming a combat spirit master isn't easy. Ma Hongjin, on the other hand, mastered fire, advancing directly from level 14 to level 22. This was incredibly rapid, and he needed to hone his strength. Li Yusong gave them 3 years to hone and refine their powers, enough time for them to master their own abilities and reach even higher levels of control over their spirit power. In 3 years, they'll be competing in the Soto Grand Spirit Arena. A 2-person spirit battle requires reaching the Silver Spirit level to pass. The allotted time is 2 years, meaning Tang San must obtain the Silver Spirit badge before he arrives at Shrek Academy. I wonder if Tang San still has the confidence to claim that there are no useless spirits, only useless spirit masters. Even without cultivating their spirit power in the past 6 months, Ma Hongjin and Oscar have both advanced 1 level. At this rate, by the time Tang San enrolls, both will be high-level spirit masters, and Oscar might even be aiming for the soul master rank. The 2 youngsters sparred. Oscar's melee prowess was already quite impressive. his punches and kicks rivaling those of a great spirit master of the same rank. He lacked only offensive spirit skills, which would allow him to achieve full combat prowess once he reached level 50. Silver Ying Beast and Mirror Beast marked the beginning of Oscar's transformation. Ma Hongjin, on the other hand, began experimenting with his own unique spirit skills. He developed a claw-based spirit skill, incorporating his phoenix flame into his phoenix claws, greatly increasing his melee prowess. He needed to find him a 5,000-year-old fire-attributed spirit beast skilled in close combat. After watching the two fight, Li Luochen went to find Du Guyan. Du Guyan was now 15 years old and had become increasingly voluptuous. As expected, spirit masters develop early, and can have children as young as 12. Du Guyan wasn't practicing, but instead sat on the swing Li Luochen had built for her, staring blankly at the sky. Yanzi, what's wrong? Are you missing your grandpa? Li Luochen approached Du Guyan and spoke softly, pushing her back to set the swing in motion. Chen. Grandpa's been gone for 6 months. He's never been away from me that long before. The longest he's been away was only 3 days. I wonder if something happened to Grandpa along the way. Du Guyan hadn't seen Du Gubo for 6 months, and she missed him terribly. Girls are sentimental, and it's easy to overthink things at times like this. That's impossible. With Grandpa's strength, there's only a handful of powerful people who could have stopped him. He must have been delayed by something. Li Luochen could only offer gentle comfort. Grandpa, please come back soon. Yanayan misses you so much, Du Guyan whispered, gazing up at the sky. Oh Yanayan, do you miss Grandpa that much? Come here, let Grandpa hug you. Du Gubo suddenly appeared, his cheerful voice snapping Du Guyan out of her lost mood. Grandpa, Du Guyan cried out happily, hugging Du Gubo's neck with a beaming smile. Haha, you little girl, you're so clingy after 6 months? Ha 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 ha, Du Gubo teased, stroking Du Guyan's head. Grandpa, long time no see. Li Luochen looked at Du Gubo and greeted him with a smile. Yanayan and Luochen, come here. Let's go to a secluded place first. I have something for you. Du Gubo looked at the two of them and took them to the quietest place in the academy. This place was prepared by Flanders for Du Gubo, which was relatively quiet. Du Gubo had rarely lived there, but someone would clean it every day. After entering the house, Du Gubo motioned for the two to sit down, and then used his own soul power to form a soul power barrier to isolate the breath and movement. Grandpa, why are you so mysterious? Du Guyan looked at Du Gubo with a puzzled look. Li Luochen didn't know what medicine Du Gubo was selling. Did he get some magical herb? Du Gubo took out 2 boxes from the storage soul guide. The boxes were forged with lead blocks. Open it, Du Gubo said. Li Luochen and Du Guyan exchanged a glance and opened the lead box. A powerful surge of soul energy emanated from it. Upon closer inspection, they discovered a crystal clear, deep blue bone, likely from the head. It was a skull of exceptional age. The latest novel is now available on the 69th book forum. Li Luochen and Du Guyan possessed identical soul bones, and their soul energy fluctuations were similar, indicating they were both spirit beasts of similar age. Haha, this is the greatest haul of my travels. These 2 demon-slaying skulls, condensed from 90,000 years of spiritual energy, come from a sea soul beast couple, 2 90,000-year-old sea dragons. These are truly top-quality skulls. They're a married couple, and sooner or later you two will be, too, so I've prepared this as my dowry. I've researched sea dragons, and they possess the strongest spiritual attributes among the sea soul beast sub-dragons. Their most potent attack is the blue light emanating from their eyes. I've personally witnessed a sea dragon pierce a soul Douluo with a single strike. Even a titled Douluo would be severely damaged. The soul bones dropped by their race are generally head bones. In my opinion, this skull is as good as a 100,000-year-old limb bone. You two should absorb it immediately to avoid further complications. Remember, do not reveal the skulls until you reach the level of a soul Douluo. I'm afraid some might become desperate. Du Gubo continued to talk, constantly reminding them of this and that, like a worried parent. Oh, he was a parent after all. Li Luochen and Du Guyan simultaneously attached a demon-slaying skull, a concentrated spiritual force, to their heads. A refreshing soul energy entered their spiritual seas, causing their mental strength to surge. Of the 6 soul bones, the head soul bone is second only to the torso bone, being rare and precious. A 90,000-year-old skull was simply unbelievable, and a first-hand one, its soul power unparalleled. Du Guyan broke through directly to level 40, reaching the bottleneck of soul sect. The bonus from the soul bone was enough to further increase the age of her fourth soul ring. Li Yusong's soul power increased by 3 levels, reaching level 48.5. His mental strength reached near soul Douluo level, and his physical strength also increased with the incorporation of the top-grade soul bone. Chapter 56 Douluo's Bizarre Adventure. Back in time, Douluo was recruited by the Douluo soul hunters as a helper. This time, we're hunting a 90,000-year-old sea dragon. Our scouts have discovered it resting near an isolated island outside Xinghe City. We're hunting it to eliminate potential threats and to obtain the 9th spirit ring for Elder Wang, the quasi-titled Douluo, Sea Snake Douluo ordered. This soul hunting team was formidable, a titled Douluo, a quasi-titled Douluo, 7 soul Douluos, including Douluo, and 10 soul sages. 60% of these soul Douluos and soul sages were agility attack types. Titled Douluos would provide direct containment, while agility attack types would constantly harass and deplete the soul beast's stamina, increasing the chances of a kill. This was the most effective method for hunting high-aged soul beasts, passed down from the Douluo Empire and considered unique to the empire. The spirit hall typically operated with a few titled Douluos, or even a dozen soul Douluos, working together, a completely unconstrained strategy. Forget the Heaven Dao Empire, lacking even a titled Douluo, it's not worth mentioning. If it weren't for the spirit hall, the Douluo Empire would have destroyed it long ago. Douluo followed the soul hunters. His alias was Green Dragon, his spirit was the Golden Green Dragon, and his spirit power was level 85, placing him in the top 3 among the soul Douluos there, so no one dared to challenge him. Soon, Douluo and the soul hunters arrived at the deserted island where the sea demon dragon resided. A massive, deep blue figure perched atop the island. The sea demon dragon was asleep. However, it was a 90,000-year-old spirit beast, comparable in strength to titled Douluo. It was also a sub-dragon species specialized in spiritual attributes, and its perception was incredibly strong. It awoke from its slumber in an instant, assuming a fighting stance. Roar, the sea demon dragon roared, attempting to repel the humans. Its perception detected 2 humans of comparable strength, the old man leading the group, whose power was comparable to its own, and the other, following behind, whose aura was weaker than its own. However, the sea demon dragon instinctively found this human terrifying. As expected of a nearly 100,000-year-old sea spirit beast, its perception is exceptional. Let's proceed according to our previously formulated plan. Sea serpent Douluo roared, then unleashed his spirit avatar to meet the enemy. Spirit avatar, X16, the quasi-titled Douluo, along with the 5 soul Douluos and 10 soul sages, all unleashed their spirit avatars. The sea serpent Douluo's spirit was the sea viper, a highly venomous sea snake spirit. Its rank was comparable to that of the jade phosphorus serpent, though without its egregious flaws. 8th spirit skill, Viper's Rage. Sea serpent Douluo unleashed his 8th spirit skill, striking directly at the sea demon dragon. The sea demon dragon, in pain, would be furious, let alone these humans who were hunting it. How could it not be furious? The sea demon dragon's eyes glowed blue. As if sensing something, sea snake Douluo quickly dodged and shouted, "Be careful." This beast's attack, unfortunately, it was too late. A ray of blue light shot out from the sea demon dragon's eyes, instantly killing a soul Douluo. The soul Douluo's body exploded, shocking the surrounding soul masters. Furthermore, Douluo stood outside the battlefield, scouting the enemy with another soul Douluo. Indeed, his role was to scout the enemy. After all, he was only a wildly recruited soul Douluo, and the soul hunters were worried. Furthermore, a soul Douluo with a soul power of level 88 joined Douluo in scouting the enemy, though this was actually just a surveillance of Douluo. Douluo noticed this, but he didn't care, considering he was just a soul Douluo. By this time, the soul hunters and the sea demon dragon had reached a fierce stage of battle. A soul Douluo and 4 soul sages had been killed by the sea demon dragon, which was covered in wounds, its deep blue scales stripped away. Roar, the sea demon dragon instantly unleashed a mighty roar into the sky. Everyone thought the sea demon dragon had reached its end, but little did they know the disaster their thought would bring upon them. The final blow came from the quasi-titled Douluo Elder Wang. This sea demon dragon would become his 9th spirit ring. After absorbing it, he would become one of the continent's most powerful and enter the Douluo Empire's Hall of Worship. A black and red spirit ring emerged from the sea demon dragon. A 90,000-year spirit ring was the closest to a 100,000-year spirit ring. It was no longer pure black, but rather black with a red tint. Douluo's ninth spirit ring didn't have that red tint. He had hunted it alone, from a snake-like spirit beast approximately 85,000 years old. This was the disadvantage of not joining a larger faction, but it wasn't a big deal. With his current spirit power level at 95, what did this man's ninth spirit ring have? He could kill Elder Wang in seconds. The hunt was complete, and Elder Wang had begun absorbing spirit rings. Douluo and the level 88 soul Douluo also stepped forward to provide protection. The sea serpent Douluo was recuperating on the spot, while two soul Douluos were examining the sea demon dragon's corpse to see if it had any spirit bones. Such high-level spirit beasts have a high probability of dropping spirit bones. Lord Sea Serpent. There's a spirit bone. It's a head spirit bone, a soul Douluo shouted, startling the sea serpent Douluo, who was still recuperating. He immediately teleported to the soul Douluo's side, his hands trembling as he gazed at the deep blue spirit bone. The eyes of the other soul Douluos and soul saints were filled with a fiery glow. This was a top-grade skull, a demon-breaking skull of concentrated spirit. Its spirit skill was likely the blue light in the sea demon dragon's eyes. A 90,000-year-old skull was worth as much as a 100,000-year-old limb spirit bone. The latest novel is being released on the 69th Book Forum. The head soul bone is incredibly valuable. Douluo spotted it and prepared to quickly dispatch everyone here to seize it. He absolutely had to secure such a precious bone for his granddaughter. Just as Douluo was about to act, an unexpected event occurred. A massive creature suddenly emerged from the sea, another sea dragon. This sea dragon, also 90,000 years old, saw the corpse on the island and roared furiously. Its eyes shone with blue light, shooting towards Elder Wang. Elder Wang was absorbing a soul ring and couldn't be interrupted. The sudden attack caused him to explode on the spot, the soul ring's energy instantly filing his body. Little Wang, Elder Wang, the soul hunters were furious. They could have claimed their reward, but their mission had failed. The sea serpent Douluo, enraged, unleashed his true spirit form and engaged the sea dragon in a desperate battle. He already had a short lifespan, less than a few decades remaining. He had groomed Elder Wang as his successor, the one who would take his place. With his successor gone, how could he not be furious? The other soul Douluos and soul sages unleashed their spirit avatars to attack the sea dragon. Due to the sudden appearance of the second sea dragon, the demon-slaying skull, the concentrated spirit, hadn't been stored in its storage device, but had instead been left on the corpse of the first sea dragon. Douluo effortlessly collected it. Chapter 57 Douluo's Bizarre Adventure, Part 2. Douluo openly took the soul bone. Everyone present in the soul hunters witnessed it, including sea serpent Douluo, who roared in surprise. How dare you, youngster? Douluo no longer wanted to act. He unleashed his full strength, his spirit form emerging as the golden phosphorus serpent king. Sea serpent Douluo was startled, his voice trembling as he exclaimed, "You're a super Douluo. Who are you, and why are you hiding your abilities to infiltrate our team?" As sea serpent Douluo spoke, the sea demon dragon caught him by surprise. A blue beam shot from its eyes, striking sea serpent Douluo's spirit form. Sea serpent Douluo spat out a mouthful of blood, severely wounded by the blow. "Haha, weren't you the ones who recruited me? If I'm not mistaken, you'll probably abandon me after this successful trip. But thank you for securing this supreme head soul bone for me," Douluo said sinisterly, causing sea serpent Douluo to spit blood again. "I'm done playing with you." Ninth soul skill, Jade Phosphorus Divine Light. Douluo unleashed his ninth soul skill, superimposing it with the soul skill from the 70,000-year-old infinite poison python's right arm bone, increasing its poison attribute by 200%. The poison completely destroyed every living creature present, including the sea dragon. However, as the sea dragon transformed into black ash, a deep blue soul bone fell from its head. Douluo was overjoyed, manipulating his soul power to draw the soul bone towards it. It was another 90,000-year-old, concentrated demon-slaying skull. Now, his granddaughter and grandson-in-law were complete. Looks like these two sea dragons are a couple. The sea dragon's dying roar must have been summoning its mate, Douluo muttered to himself. He then cleaned up the battlefield and collected the soul hunter's soul guides. Near the sea serpent Douluo's black ash, a deep purple soul bone appeared. Douluo's attention had been drawn to the sea dragon skull, so he hadn't noticed the sea serpent Douluo had also dropped a soul bone. It looks like a right leg bone, about 35,000 years old. It must have been obtained by sea serpent Douluo when he obtained his 7th spirit ring. It looks like a sea viper's right leg bone, and it still contains a lot of venom. Perhaps sea serpent Douluo placed his own venom in this spirit bone. Douluo looked at the deep purple right leg bone. While its age was a bit young, it suited him perfectly. Perhaps sea serpent Douluo's venom could enhance his own. Douluo absorbed the right leg bone right there and then. Why did he absorb it himself? Douluo was very picky now. His granddaughter's spirit bones were all 40,000 years old, while none of his 4 spirit bones were less than 50,000 years old. He hoped to find a better spirit bone for his granddaughter in the future, at least a 100,000-year-old one. This was what he wanted to do for her. This spirit bone's age didn't significantly improve Super Douluo, and it only helped Douluo reach the middle stage from the early 95th level. However, the sea snake venom within it was of great use to him. The venom and residual soul power of the sea serpent Douluo further enhanced his golden phosphorus snake king poison. After absorbing the venom, he reached the late 95th level, almost reaching the full 95th level. However, breaking through from 95 to 96 requires contemplation. Haven't you seen Jihuagwan, an old ghost of the spirit hall, as well as Old Bone of the 7 Treasures glazed tile sect and the old dragon of the Blue Lightning Tyrannosaurus Rex clan, all stuck at 95 for over a decade? Douluo knew of no more than 5 soul masters in the current mainland who had surpassed 95, Jin Daoliu, Tang Chen, Jin Yu, and Chen Xin. These were the powerful ones Douluo knew of. He knew that the transition from 95 to 96 was a formidable hurdle, and the transition from 96 to 97 was even more difficult. From what Douluo knew, the transition from 97 to 98 seemed to all possess a 100,000-year spirit ring. Possessing a 100,000-year spirit ring would make the transition to 98 easier, while otherwise, the transition from 97 to 98 would require at least several decades of contemplation, if not more. A Super Douluo has a lifespan of several hundred years, gaining 100 years with each level increase. An ultimate Douluo could easily live for 1,000 years. However, cultivation must be pursued with uninterrupted force. Dwelling on it for too long can weaken one's resolve. After his reflection, Douluo examined the soul hunter's storage devices. The soul saints and soul Douluos only had gold soul coins, clothing, and other miscellaneous items. Douluo collected all the gold soul coins and valuables. He also discovered 2 lead boxes in the sea snake Douluo's soul device. These were perfect for storing 2 demon-slaying skulls of condensed spirit. These soul bones could be gifts for the 2 little ones, and could also serve as a dowry. Beyond that, Douluo found nothing else of value, except for the abundance of gold soul coins, totaling tens of millions. As expected of a tribute from the Star Luo Empire, he had a ton of money. After finishing his work, Douluo left. Before leaving, he dug out the brain of the first sea dragon. Whale glue is the brain of a sea soul beast. Sea soul beasts don't necessarily produce rare treasures, while sea soul beasts possess whale glue. He also harvested another piece of 90,000-year-old whale glue. Douluo's haul was truly bountiful. 2 top-grade head soul bones, 2 90,000-year-old whale glue pieces, 3 80,000-year-old whale glue pieces, 6 70,000-year-old whale glue pieces, and over a dozen 50,000-year-old whale glue pieces. This was enough to strengthen the entire Shrek Academy. High-quality whale glue was practically the same as rare treasures. 100,000-year-old whale glue was on par with immortal herbs. High-quality 10,000-year-old whale glue was as effective as 9th-grade purple fungus and 10,000-year-old ginseng. It was a shame that people of this era didn't realize this, wasting such rare treasures. Douluo headed directly towards the Heaven Dao Empire. He was in a coastal city of the Xingluo Empire, and would have to cross most of the Xingluo Empire to reach the territory of the Heaven Dao Empire. It had been just over 6 months since this trip, and he wondered how Yannian was doing. Douluo thought of his beautiful granddaughter. This trip was a wonderful gift for her, as a grandfather. With that thought in mind, Douluo quickened his pace, eager to return to Shrek Academy in Soto City, Bar Kingdom. The latest novel is now available on the 6th book bar. The journey would take about 10 days. So he'd probably arrive a little later than scheduled. Bara Kingdom, Soto City, Shrek Academy. Douluo had already returned to Shrek Academy and headed straight for his granddaughter, only to see her truly missing him. "Oh Yannian, do you miss Grandpa that much? Come here, give me a hug," Douluo suddenly appeared, his cheerful voice snapping Douluo out of her lost mood. "Grandpa," Douluo cried out happily, hugging Douluo's neck with a beaming smile. Afterwards, Douluo gave the two demon-slaying skulls, condensed from 90,000 years of spiritual energy, to his granddaughter and grandson-in-law. His granddaughter's spirit power had just reached level 40, a feat unmatched by the age of 15. Li Luochen's spirit power had increased by 3 levels, reaching level 48.5. Since both of their martial spirits were related to dragons, the head spirit bone that the sea demon dragon had unleashed was perfectly suited for both. Both had reached the level of Soul Douluo. Li Luochen's spirit power naturally surpassed that of others, and he later took a spirit-boosting elixir crafted by Douluo. Douluo's spirit power was average, but after experiencing the effects of the Longing Dew, it had been significantly enhanced. Now, with the aid of the head spirit bone, she had developed fiery eyes. Li Luochen and Douluo both possessed the same head spirit bone skill, a beam of blue light emanating from their eyes, known as the demon-slaying divine light. This concentrated beam of spiritual energy was immensely powerful. Furthermore, the power of the spirit bone skill increased as their spirit power increased, making it a truly progressive spirit skill. Chapter 58, Substantial Improvement. After Li Luochen and Douluo absorbed the soul bone, their mental, physical, and spiritual powers all increased. The key was the soul bone's perfect compatibility, which was extremely rare. It took them a day to absorb it. After all, it was a top-grade soul bone, so it took some time to absorb. After they finished absorbing it and opened their eyes, Li Luochen felt his soul power had reached level 48.5, while Douluo was certain it had broken through level 40. It just so happened that they had already absorbed the wonderful orchid chrysanthemum and the narcissus jade muscle bone. Over 6 months had passed, and the effects of the immortal herbs had been completely absorbed. They could once again consume these neutral immortal herbs to improve their soul power and physical fitness. When Douluo woke up, Li Luochen said to her, "Yanzi, let's take advantage of this time to absorb the immortal herbs as well. You absorb the narcissus jade muscle bone, and I'll take the wonderful orchid chrysanthemum." Douluo said nothing, pulling out a jade box from her soul storage device. Inside, she held a brilliant white flower, appearing as pure as a blue lotus in a white cup. Douluo picked up the magical herb, first consuming its petals and then inhaling its pistil. Afterward, she sat cross-legged, activating her Zhaoshan Wuji Gong to digest and absorb the narcissus jade muscles and bones. The narcissus jade muscles and bones nourishes the tendons and bones, and circulates qi through the 8 extraordinary meridians. This instantly opens up the 8 extraordinary meridians, significantly accelerating Douluo's cultivation speed. Most importantly, the narcissus jade muscles and bones enhance the body's flexibility, making the skin appear more supple and wider. Douluo was already quite beautiful, and the narcissus jade muscles and bones made her even more beautiful. Darn it, Li Luochen. At the same time, Douluo's Zhaoshan Wuji Gong bottleneck was broken, reaching the 5th level of endless life, increasing her soul power reserves by half. Li Luochen devoured the Kirin Tong Shinju, first consuming the pistil and then the petals. This neutral grade herb, similar in efficacy to the narcissus jade muscles and bones, circulates qi through the limbs, circulates blood through the 8 meridians, and cultivates an indestructible body. Li Luochen, practicing the Zhaoshan Wuji Gong and utilizing the medicinal properties of the Kirin Tongshan chrysanthemum, opened up his 8 extraordinary meridians and simultaneously achieved the 7th level of Vajra indestructibility. Li Luochen's physical strength had now reached the level of a Soul Douluo, and his soul power had reached a bottleneck of level 50. He only needed to absorb the 5th soul ring to become a true Soul King. As a Soul King, Li Luochen could potentially battle a 7-ringed Soul Saint in his true spirit form. Both his physical strength and mental power had reached the threshold of a Soul Douluo. While his soul power was still at level 50, he had cultivated the Zhaoshan Wuji Gong, and his soul power reserves were comparable to those of a 6-ringed Soul Emperor. A full-scale clash with a Soul Saint was uncertain. Meanwhile, Li Luochen and Douluo's spirits connected slightly, though very slightly. While they both felt it, it wasn't noticeable. Once you two have absorbed it, I'll take you to the Star Dou Great Forest in a few days to hunt souls. By the way, I've been taking a lot of whale glue these days, Douluo said, showing off the whale glue he had recently acquired. Li Luochen. You're so lucky? Who's the protagonist? Tang San's luck isn't even as good as yours. Douluo gave the sea dragon's whale glue to Douluo, It was fresh enough for the best results. He gave the other 90,000-year-old whale glue to Li Luochen. Douluo used his own powerful spirit power to heat the whale glue. Unlike the 1,000-year-old whale glue, the 10,000-year-old whale glue didn't shrink much even after heating, and the spirit energy within it was far stronger than the 1,000-year-old whale glue. The two 90,000-year-old whale glue Douluo had used were considered top grade. After ingestion, it was estimated that only the 100,000-year-old whale glue would be useful. Li Luochen and Douluo continued to absorb the energy of the whale glue. Their spirit powers had reached a bottleneck, accumulating there until they obtained their next spirit ring. Douluo left and returned to find Flender, tossing him the dozen or so 50,000-year-old whale glue. Douluo was now the honorary dean of Shrek Academy, so he considered it a contribution to the academy. He had no use for them anyway. As for the 3 80,000-year-old and 6 70,000-year-old pieces, leave them to Li Luochen for his discretion. Shrek Academy then entered a period of further improvement. Although Flanders also acquired whale glue, most of it was 1,000-year-old 10,000-year-old whale glue usually appeared at the Cheyenne Dao auction, and 1,000-year-old pieces were no longer effective. Although he had recently acquired some 10,000-year-old whale glue, it was usually only 20,000 or 30,000 years old. Even so, it had improved him, a soul Douluo. Now that Douluo had given him over a dozen 50,000-year-old pieces, it was more than enough to raise the academy's teachers by a level. After Li Luochen finished absorbing them, he went to his grandfather, Li Yusong, that evening and gave him an 80,000-year-old and a 70,000-year-old whale glue. For 6 months, Li Yusong remained stuck at peak level 69. While the 9th grade purple Ganoderma pill could help break through the bottleneck, Li Yusong's age required time to improve. Li Luochen also knew that his grandfather had been stuck at the second of 3 bottlenecks, levels 30, 70, and 90, for some time, so he planned to use 2 top-grade whale glues to help him achieve a breakthrough. After absorbing the energy and improving his physical fitness, he'll join Li Luochen and Douluo in hunting soul beasts. With Douluo possessing sub-dragons over 50,000 years old, hunting them won't be a problem. Li Luochen uses the flames from his own dragon wing soul bone to refine whale glue. Now that his dragon wing soul bone has reached the 30,000-year level, Li Luochen's control over fire has deepened, and the fiery apricot has further strengthened his soul bone. The latest novel is available for first release on the 69th book bar. His flames are now very close to peak fire, but he rarely uses them. Li Luochen prefers to use force to break through anything. Fire is like an enchantment for him, increasing its explosive properties. Especially when he unleashes his second soul skill, Blazing Explosion, in Tyrant Dragon Battle Body form, a Soul Emperor without defensive soul skills will be fatal. Half a quarter of an hour later, the whale glue was refined. And Li Luochen handed the whale glue to Li Yusong. Li Yusong wasted no time, swallowing 2 tablets of whale glue and then refining it with his Haoshan Wuji Gong. Powerful energy filled Li Yusong's body, turning him red, though it soon dissipated. High-quality whale glue was truly exceptional. Originally, it would have taken Li Yusong a year or 2 to reach level 70, but now he had achieved it in one fell swoop, significantly enhancing his physical fitness. Simultaneously, the energy from the whale glue accelerated the efficacy of the 9th grade purple Ganoderma pill and the 7th grade dragon Ganoderma, accelerating their absorption into Li Yusong's body. He then cultivated this Haoshan Wuji Gong to the 6th level, achieving immunity to all poisons. Li Luochen decided to find a powerful sub-dragon spirit beast for his grandfather, preferably one with golden bloodline. The 7th spirit ring was crucial, considering both its age and quality. A well-chosen 7th spirit ring would allow for the evolution of his martial spirit and even ease his ascension to title Douluo status. A week later, Douluo led the team, along with his soul Douluo Flanders, to help Li Luochen, Li Yusong, and Douluo obtain spirit rings. Chapter 59, Soul Hunt 20, Part 1. Thanks to my beloved Pikachu for the 10,000 Kidian coins, and to all my fellow readers for their money, comments, and support. A week later, Douluo and Flanders led Li Luochen, Li Yusong, and Douluo to the Xingdao Great Forest to hunt souls. This time, the required soul beasts were of the highest quality. Li Luochen needed a golden earth dragon king, a powerful sub-dragon with light attributes and golden power. Douluo needed a 10,000-year-old earth-attributed sub-dragon. A dark gold deer or claw bear or titan ape could also be absorbed. As for dragonization, It wasn't a problem at the moment. Thanks to absorbing the sea demon dragon's head soul bone, Dou Yan had already achieved dragonization of both her head and right arm. Her dragonization progress was similar to that of a soul king from the blue lightning Tyrannosaurus rex family, allowing her to choose from a wider range of fourth soul rings. The dark gold or claw bear's metacarpal bones were a perfect match for Dou Yan. Dou Yan's dragonite arms, combined with the dark gold or claw bear's strongest metacarpal bones, were truly formidable. Li Yusong needed a sub-dragon with golden bloodline, such as a golden python, golden horned dragon, or golden scaled lizard king. The whale glue Douluo brought back this time greatly strengthened Shrek. Flanders, after absorbing the spirit bones, was only at the mid-level 82nd level. After more than 6 months of cultivation, he barely reached the late stage. Now, he's taken 250,000-year-old whale glue. The medicinal properties of the whale glue have accelerated the absorption of the remaining wind-singing hawkbill flower within Flanders' body, boosting him to level 84, a full level and a half higher. However, Flanders has absorbed a lot recently: the immortal wind-singing hawkbill flower, 2 spirit bones, and 250,000-year-old whale glue. He has a lot of energy within him, and the whale glue now helps Flanders rapidly integrate this energy. Having reached level 84, Flanders is no longer a novice contra player, he's considered a master among contra players. The spirit ring configuration of the 3 teaching committee members of the Dou Royal Academy isn't as good as Flanders. Flanders possesses the best spirit ring configuration. The Shrek Academy teachers all harvested 2 whale glues. Zhao Wuji reached the peak of level 79, going from level 78, and is expected to soon reach the Soul Douluo level. Xiao Xin reached level 75 from level 73, and Lu Qibin reached the peak of level 69 from level 68. Lu Qibin is somewhat older than Li Yusong, so reaching level 70 is a difficult hurdle for him. Zhao Wuji and Lu Qibin should reach this level in about a year, at which point Flanders will lead them in obtaining spirit rings. As for Oscar and Ma Hongjin, they left 2 80,000-year-old whale glues for them, but they weren't in a rush to use them until they were ready for their Soul Douluo battles, returning to the Star Dou Great Forest. Since the spirit rings and spirit beasts they needed were relatively rare, they headed directly to the mixed zone of the Star Dou Great Forest. The mixed zone is the border between the core and inner areas of the Star Dou Great Forest, and is home to a rich variety of spirit beasts. Even 100,000-year-old spirit beasts are possible. Finding spirit beasts here is incredibly convenient, and with Douluo's escort, everyone's safety is quite high. Currently, the only 100,000-year-old spirit beasts visible in the Star Dou Great Forest are the azure bull python and the titan giant ape. Known as the Emperor and King of the Forest, they generally avoid the mixed zone. As for other powerful spirit beasts, such as the dark demon evil god tiger and the 1,000-pound ant king, they are unlikely to appear here. They have all been driven out and are likely to remain within. If they were to appear in the mixed zone, they would likely be beaten by the titan giant ape and the azure bull python. The 5 of them searched for spirit beasts in the mixed zone. They encountered a large number of 10,000-year-old spirit beasts, but they were all driven away by Douluo. 10,000-year-old spirit beasts are intelligent and will flee when confronted by an invincible human. Roar, a giant bear covered in dark golden fur, standing over 5 meters tall, its eyes devoid of emotion, filled with coldness and cruelty. Its entire body was covered in dark golden fur, its arms exceptionally thick, and its shoulders broad and imposing, like a city wall. At the ends of its sturdy arms were razor-sharp dark golden claws, each one a full meter long. A pair of sturdy arms extended, and the sharp claws that followed his body through the air made a faint hissing sound. Dark gold terror claw bear. 5 meters tall. Exactly the 10,000-year level. Yanzi, your spirit ring has arrived, Li Luochen exclaimed excitedly, observing the dark gold terror claw bear before him. This was a dark gold terror claw bear. If he weren't so flashy, the dark gold terror claw bear would be one of the most suitable spirit beasts for him, immensely powerful and possessing unparalleled ultimate gold. A mature dark gold terror claw bear has no natural predators, even a true dragon wouldn't be able to stand a chance against one. Among all top-tier spirit beasts, it consistently ranks at the top. This is a terrifying spirit beast capable of rivaling a true dragon. The dark gold terror claw bear's most powerful attack lies in its claws. At the 10,000-year level, this creature becomes a terrifying force bordering on the unnatural. Even a titled Douluo would find it difficult to resist. Fortunately, Douluo, a super Douluo, was still able to control the dark gold claw bear, which had just passed 10,000 years old. A 10,000-year-old dark gold claw bear was powerful enough to rival a 100,000-year-old spirit beast. It was the perfect fourth spirit ring for Du Guyan, presumably granting her a powerful amplifying spirit skill. Douluo instantly appeared before the dark gold claw bear and struck it with a venomous punch, causing it to howl in pain and claw wildly. The latest novel is now available on the 6th book bar. Even going mad couldn't change its fate. Douluo constantly suppressed it, its poison deepening and its strength gradually failing. Soon, its massive body collapsed, still breathing, but faintly. Yanyan, finish it. Douluo clapped his hands after his task. He had effortlessly subdued the super soul beast known as the Earth Ripper. Du Guyan unleashed a dragon claw from her right hand, instantly understanding the life force of the dark gold claw bear. A black soul ring emerged, and Du Guyan sat cross-legged, absorbing this 10,000-year soul ring. She was the second person, after Li Yusong, to absorb a fourth soul ring 10,000 years old. It's unknown if this had happened before, but it certainly hadn't happened in the last 100 years. Li Yusong approached the dark gold claw bear's corpse. He didn't need to examine any other parts, only its right arm. Its claws were its most powerful feature. He wondered if they would yield any external soul bones. Li Yusong began to pry at the dark gold claw bear's right arm, but found none. The dark gold claw bear's right claw was stronger than its left, but it was a shame. Li Yusong pried at its left arm, and the palm bones glowed a faint dark gold. It truly was a panacea for soul beasts. The soul bones it dropped were truly remarkable. Huh? An external spirit bone? Douluo also looked over at this time. Li Yusong was holding a dark golden metacarpal bone in his hand. Yes, and it's the most precious metacarpal bone of the dark golden claw bear. Dark golden claw. Yanzi's melee ability will be greatly enhanced, Li Yusong said with a smile, watching Du Guyan absorb the spirit ring. Chapter 60, Soul Hunt 20, Part 2. A day later, Du Guyan reached the final stage of her soul ring absorption. Yellow, purple, and black soul rings appeared on her body. This soul ring configuration was truly astonishing. When the average fourth soul ring lasted 1,000 years, the sudden appearance of a 10,000-year soul ring was enough to overwhelm any soul master of the same level. At the end of Du Guyan's absorption, her right hand underwent a transformation. 5 sharp claws suddenly sprouted from it, merging with Du Guyan's dragon claws. Hiss, there's an external soul bone? The right claw actually entered Yanzi's body along with the soul ring? This is impossible, Li Yusong couldn't help but exclaim. The most precious part of the dark gold claw bear is the metacarpal bone. The drop rate is so rare that it has never appeared in this era. Even a left metacarpal bone would be a stroke of luck, but there was still one? Does this mean Du Guyan has already collected both metacarpal bones? The dark gold claw bear's most powerful part, a soul bone that can improve with the soul master's cultivation, is a bit outrageous. Would that mean Du Guyan would become the continent's strongest melee spirit master? With a dark gold claw in hand, she'd be invincible in close combat. Nothing could stand in the way of the sky-tearing claw. Soon, Du Guyan finished absorbing the energy, opened her eyes, and stared at the terror claw on her right hand. With a single casual swing, she severed several large trees. This woman was terrifying. How is Yanyan? Douluo had no idea how abnormal the spirit bone attached to the dark gold claw was, nor did he fully understand the characteristics of the dark gold claw bear. He simply assumed that the dark gold claw bear was powerful enough to rival a tidal Douluo, and its spirit ring must be very powerful. Grandpa, I'm now level 48. I've absorbed all the energy from whale glue, narcissus jade muscle bone, and spirit bones. My fourth spirit skill, Dragon Emperor Dark Gold Transformation, boosts all attributes by 150%. My right metacarpal skill is Sky-Splitting Claw, an extremely powerful physical attack, and the spirit bone can boost my strength by 100%. Hiss, so terrifying, Li Yusong gasped. Both the spirit skills and the spirit bones are terrifying, but my tyrant dragon battle body seems even more abnormal. Well, that doesn't affect my Versailles attitude, Li Yusong handed the left metacarpal bone to Du Guyan. After all, spirit bones from the same spirit beast are best absorbed by the same person. Du Guyan continued to absorb the spirit bones. Since she already had the right metacarpal bone, absorbing the left metacarpal bone was no problem at all. and she wouldn't be unable to withstand its power. Dou Yan possessed a true dragon martial spirit, and her physical body was so formidable that she could absorb the dark gold terror claw spirit bone. Half a day later, after Dou Yan had absorbed all the spirit bones, the group continued their journey, searching for the next spirit beast. After about 2 days of walking, they finally located their target, a 60,000-year-old golden earth dragon king. It perfectly matched Li Luochun's 5th spirit ring, and his physical and mental strength had now reached the level of Soul Douluo. The 60,000-year-old golden earth dragon king was a perfect match, possessing golden bloodline and the attributes of light. A formidable sub-dragon species with both exceptional strength and brilliance, Old Tool Man, Douluo unleashed his spirit form. The 60,000-year-old golden earth dragon king was a formidable force, a formidable sub-dragon species. To quickly resolve the battle, Douluo had to resort to his spirit form. The golden-blooded spirit beast was too powerful, and its light attribute offered some resistance to poison. After some testing, Douluo unleashed his full force. The golden earth dragon king was resilient, and for the time being, he remained invincible. Douluo unleashed a barrage of spirit abilities, sending the golden earth dragon king fleeing in panic. Finally, he used the snake king binding to restrain the golden earth dragon king, allowing Li Luochun to finish him off. Li Luochun stepped forward, unleashing the coiled dragon staff and activating his 4th soul skill, the tyrant dragon battle body. He struck the golden earth dragon king's head with all his might. Before he could draw last breath, Li Luochun delivered a few more blows, and the golden earth dragon king, unwilling to give up, finally died after being beaten to death with a few more blows. Could he please give him a quick death? Li Luochun absorbed the soul ring on the spot. This was his 5th soul ring. For a golden earth dragon king with a 60,000-year age, 60,000 years is typically the 8th soul ring for a soul Douluo, or even the 9th for a title Douluo. Currently, it could only be Li Luochun's 5th soul ring. Furthermore, Li Luochun experienced no abnormalities during the absorption process, and the violent energy didn't harm him. Everything was within his tolerance. Douluo dissected the golden earth dragon king's body, believing that such a powerful soul beast with a high bloodline had a higher chance of dropping soul bones. Douluo's intuition was correct. Soul beasts with golden bloodlines had an exceptionally high chance of dropping soul bones, and high-quality soul beasts with high bloodlines had a very high chance of dropping soul bones. These spirit beasts possessed immense intelligence and a rich tapestry of emotions. Douluo's methods, such as poison, clearly fell into the realm of brutal slaughter. In the end, Li Luochun, a mere ant, finished them off, leaving the golden earth dragon king with a deep resentment. Douluo dug and unearthed a soul bone, a 60,000-year-old golden left leg bone. Douluo directly attached the soul bone to Li Luochun's left leg, absorbing the soul rings as he did so. Li Luochun felt a sudden warmth in his left leg, like basking in the sun, a profound comfort. The latest novels are now available on the 69th Book Forum. 2 days passed. While absorbing high-quality soul rings takes time, Li Luochun's gains were immense. The 5th soul skill, Dragon Brilliance, destroys evil. The coiled dragon staff radiates a luminous aura. Throwing it unleashes explosive damage, especially against evil and darkness, making it the nemesis of evil soul masters. The golden light left leg bone, a soul bone skill, slashes with a crescent-shaped beam of light. Furthermore, the soul bone's special properties enhance attack, defense, recovery, and even healing. These powerful effects rival those of a 100,000-year soul bone. Li Luochun's soul power has now reached level 57. The combination of a 60,000-year soul ring, soul bone, strange mushroom, and 90,000-year whale glue has directly boosted him from level 48 to level 57. Li Luochun is a supreme soul master. His progress below level 70 was slow, but now, he has soared to level 57. It's highly likely that he will reach level 70 within 8 years and reach title Douluo status within 10, not counting divine tests and the like. Without luck, one must rely on self-cultivation. Brother Biaodong said he was slower than Tang San. Tang San had divine tests, otherwise he would have only been in his 30s as a title Douluo. Li Luochun then shared his findings with everyone, including his spirit skills. It was then time to obtain a spirit ring for Old Li. This time, he had helped Old Li obtain a spirit beast between 50,000 and 50,000 years old. Dou Yan and Li Luochun could test the waters. Now that Li Luochen possessed the combat power of a high-level spirit sage and Du Yuyan possessed the power of a spirit emperor, they could potentially compete with a 50,000-year-old spirit beast. For the next 2 weeks, no suitable spirit rings were found for old Li, leaving Li Yusong frustrated. He had a few suitable ones, but his grandson, Li Luochen, said they were not old enough. Li Luochen was determined to get his grandfather a 50,000-year-old, golden-blooded sub-dragon spirit beast. He had the time to search for his grandfather's future cultivation path. What was this little difficulty? Chapter 61, Soul Hunt 20, Part 3. Next, everyone searched the mixed zone for Li Yusong's spirit ring. They'd been there for half a month, yet hadn't found a suitable one. Why was old Li's spirit ring so hard to find? Arriving at a densely wooded area, Flanders suddenly announced, "Old Li, we've found a spirit ring. It's a golden python at least 50,000 years old." Flanders' words startled everyone. After searching for half a month without finding a suitable one, now it had finally appeared. Spirit beasts with golden bloodlines were truly rare. Flanders pointed to a tree where a massive python, as thick as a bucket and at least 15 meters long, coiled around the branch. Its body was covered in shimmering golden scales, a truly stunning sight. "Yanayan, Luochen, go play with it." "Flanders, get that golden python down from the tree," Du Yubo said, gazing at the golden python. Flanders released his martial spirit, flew over, and directly broke the thick branch, sending the golden python plummeting from the tree. The golden python was a pure power-oriented soul beast, lacking any fancy abilities. Its attacks were limited to biting and entanglement. While primitive, they were effective. Soul beasts with golden bloodlines were superior in every way to ordinary soul beasts. Ordinary soul beasts simply couldn't penetrate the golden python's scales. Li Luochen and Du Yuyan were both ready for battle. A golden python over 50,000 years old was as powerful as a high-level soul Douluo, possessing immense strength. A single careless move could result in its entangling stranglehold. Fifth soul skill, Dragon Brilliance, Destroy Evil. Li Luochen's panlong staff radiated a golden glow as he casually hurled it at the golden python. After absorbing the golden earth dragon king's soul ring, the panlong staff's weight increased from 6,000 kilograms to 9,000 kilograms, significantly increasing its destructive power. Li Luochen speculated that by the time he reached soul sage status, the panlong staff might even be heavier than the panlong staff of the Spirit Hall's thousand-tire demon, subduing Douluo. Boom! The golden dragon staff smashed into the golden python, sweeping across its body with destructive force. Much of its scales were knocked off, leaving blood staining its skin. It seemed Li Luochen's fifth soul skill was incredibly powerful, rivaling even the eighth soul skill of a soul Douluo. Du Yuyan's arms transformed into dragons, unleashing dark golden claws that slashed at the python's body. The claws were incredibly powerful, leaving several more blood marks on the python's body. The python sensed the presence of death and considered escaping, but it sensed it was being locked into presence, preventing it from escaping. Li Luochen and Du Yuyan's attacks were sharp, but not fatal. The python remained formidable, but it sensed the strength of the humans present, rendering its attacks ineffective. Li Yusong had already unleashed his dragon pattern staff, the crimson staff radiating an aura. Old Li gazed at the golden python with piercing eyes. This was the soul beast his grandson had carefully selected for him, he couldn't miss it. According to Li Luochen, absorbing the power of the golden bloodline sub-dragon species would most likely allow old Li's spirit to evolve to top-tier spirit. While high-level spirits face difficulties in reaching title Douluo, the dragon pattern staff's evolution to top-tier spirit would be much easier, allowing it to withstand spirit rings of greater age. While high-level spirits might not be able to withstand the energy of a 100,000-year spirit ring, evolving to top-tier spirit presents no such challenges. In reality, the essence of a spirit is evolution, and the spirit rings chosen are how it evolves. Du Yubo's ability to evolve the green phosphorus snake into the green phosphorus snake king is an example. The evolution of blue silver grass into the blue silver king is another example. Strengthening one's spirit is fundamental. Therefore, to ensure his grandfather's future possession of a 100,000-year spirit ring, Li Luochen first administered 9th grade purple Ganoderma pill and 7th grade dragon Ganoderma to enhance his spirit, and then sought a golden-blooded sub-dragon as the 7th spirit ring. The true form of the martial spirit is crucial. The golden python has a high probability of evolving the dragon pattern staff. At worst, It will only evolve halfway, and it's possible that it will be fully evolved by the time Li Yusong reaches level 90 and obtains his 9th spirit ring. During the battle, Li Luochen and Du Yuyan continuously coordinated, inflicting more and more wounds on the golden python. Each blow wasn't fatal, but the more they were, the better. A frog in boiling water will eventually cool down. The golden python's attacks were completely ineffective. Li Luochen and Du Yuyan's powerful mental strength allowed them to predict the python's strikes and dodge them. The golden python was extremely frustrated, its condition deteriorating, while the two humans on the other side remained unscathed, deeply infuriating it. After attacking for about half a quarter of an hour, Li Luochen and Du Yuyan retreated to Du Yubo's side. Their spirit power had been depleted by more than half, and the golden python was almost done for, ready to clean up the mess. This golden python is real flesh. Grandpa Dugu, please use poison to control it. I'll handle it in the end, Li Luochen said, looking at the golden python, its body flushed red. The golden python still had 30% of its combat effectiveness. Though severely wounded, it still possessed the power to fight back. This was the strength of its golden bloodline. Du Yubo, upon hearing this, unleashed his left arm bone skill, Snake King Binding. Several green shadows entwined the golden python, releasing a paralyzing toxin. The golden python was doomed, lying motionless. If it hadn't been for its tongue moving, one would have thought it was truly dead. Li Yusong, knowing the time had come, advanced with his dragon pattern staff to finish off the golden python. 6th soul skill, Dragon Spirit Break. The latest novel is now available on the 69th book bar. Li Yusong unleashed his most powerful attacking soul skill. His 6th soul ring was that of a 15,000-year-old sub-dragon species called the Sky Spirit Giant Lizard, considered one of the most powerful among the giant lizard sub-dragons. Li Yusong struck the golden python at the 7-inch mark, and the golden python died with reluctance. A black spirit ring floated out of it. Li Yusong looked at the deep black spirit ring, feeling a surge of emotion. Originally, his 7th spirit ring should have been 20,000 to 30,000 years old, but he didn't expect his grandson to get him one that was over 50,000 years old. He knew a lot now. 50,000 years was enough to make a soul Douluo's 8th spirit ring. It was basically impossible for a soul sage to have a 7th spirit ring that was 50,000 years old. The only one he knew of whose 7th spirit ring was 50,000 years old was Flender, whose was 50,000 to 2,000 years old. Even Du Yubo's 7th spirit ring was only over 40,000 years old. It felt unreal that his 7th spirit ring could become so strong now, because his own spirit ring configuration was very ordinary: white, yellow, purple, and black. Soul Sage was the limit in his lifetime. According to his grandson, Li Luochen, a well-chosen 7th spirit ring would likely facilitate his cultivation after level 70. He believed in his grandson, believing his strength had long surpassed his own. Since he was willing to help him, he should accept it. He believed his grandson's kindness would not be wasted. Li Yusong's sigh of gratitude lasted only a few seconds before he absorbed the spirit ring. The gap between his 6th and 7th spirit rings was nearly 40,000 years, and the golden python's actual cultivation level was 54,000 years. This exceeded the normal 7th spirit ring limit. However, Li Yusong had been well off in recent years. He had already consumed 1,000-year-old whale glue, absorbed 2 rare treasures, the 9th grade purple Ganoderma pill and the 7th grade dragon Ganoderma, and absorbed a nearly 10,000-year-old golden python's left arm bone. Before the soul hunt, he had consumed an 80,000-year-old whale glue pill and a 70,000-year-old whale glue pill, further improving his physical fitness. This time, absorbing the 54,000-year-old golden python spirit ring would not be a problem. Li Yusong's condition was not bad at the moment. There was a hint of cold sweat on his face, but his body had not swelled. The absorption might be a bit strenuous, but with patience, he should be able to pass it. I just don't know what level Li Yusong can reach after absorbing the soul ring. He still has the energy of whale glue accumulated in his body. If you are listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means it was downloaded and re-uploaded without effort. We warmly invite you to visit our channel, Fanfic World. There you will find the original version of this story and many other novels of various genres. We look forward to seeing you dive into a world of incredible novels. Chapter 62. Good luck. Li Luochen watched his grandfather absorb spirit rings while Flanders dissected the golden python's body. He knew that spirit beasts with high bloodlines had a higher chance of dropping spirit bones. He felt lucky today. The dark gold deer claw bear and the golden earth dragon king had both dropped spirit bones, so the golden python should be able to do the same. Even if not, dissecting the meat and bringing it back to Shrek would be a great addition to their meals. Golden python meat was truly excellent. When Flanders dissected the python's head, he discovered it was golden. What did that mean? It was a skull, a 54,000-year-old golden python skull. Your Majesty, Xiachen, Yanzi, this golden python has dropped a spirit bone, Flanders shouted. Confused, X3 the three of them came directly to Flanders, who held a golden head spirit bone in his hands, a golden skull embodying spiritual concentration. Hiss, the drop rate was quite high this time. 3 spirit beasts, and 4 spirit bones? The dark gold deer claw bear dropped a pair of metacarpal bones, the golden earth dragon king dropped a left leg bone, and the golden python dropped a skull. Good luck? Everyone's surprise was understandable. Soul beasts with higher bloodlines have a higher chance of dropping soul bones. Douluo's methods were toxic, so no matter how he used them, they were brutally lethal. Furthermore, these 3 soul beasts were highly intelligent and harbored deep resentment, making the chance of dropping soul bones even higher. This haul was truly a bountiful one. Flanders wasn't interested in the skull, he already had one, and he only needed 2 soul bones to be fully stocked. He simply tossed it to Li Yusong, asking him to absorb it. Flanders didn't know that Li Yusong and Douluo already had soul bones, so Li Yusong simply took the soul bone, intending to take it back for his grandfather. He and Douluo both possessed 90,000-year-old head soul bones, and Douluo also had one, so he chose to leave this one for his grandfather. This soul bone would be best absorbed together with a spirit ring, but Li Yusong was old and might refuse. Zhao Wuji could also use it, but Li Yusong didn't want to give it to him. There was no other way. My grandfather was closer, so I had to give old Zhao a hard time. If all else failed, I'd have to find him a suitable 10,000-year spirit bone later. The interlude ended, and Li Yusong took the spirit bone. Flanders didn't ask, as he didn't need to absorb it himself. Douluo had some guesses, but kept silent. Douluo was thinking of going for a stroll around Soto City after returning. 2 days passed in a flash, and Li Yusong had almost absorbed the entire spirit ring. 7 spirit rings appeared on his body, white, yellow, purple, 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 black, and black. 7 spirit rings that weren't the optimal configuration appeared. There was no other way. In his youth, old Li had no help and acquired a 60-year spirit ring. While a top-tier spirit skill could boost one's power by 100%, it was still a 10-year spirit ring. The 5th spirit ring was 9,000 years old, but because it was absorbed from a sub-dragon, the bonus was significant, comparable to other spirit skills that had just reached the 10,000-year mark. Now that Li Yusong had acquired a 54,000-year-old 7th spirit ring, his spirit avatar should be incredibly powerful. The key to 7th spirit rings is the age, the better. A 50,000-year-old spirit avatar should be incredibly powerful. Soon, Li Yusong completed absorbing the spirit ring and opened his eyes, sensing the changes within himself. As expected, the 7th spirit ring is a qualitative change. My spirit avatar is truly formidable. Li Yusong sensed his own strength, now capable of defeating 10 of his pre-spirit ring counterparts. Grandpa, how do you feel? Has my spirit changed? Li Yusong asked. It seems so. Can you help me take a look? Li Yusong felt that his spirit had indeed changed. He extended his hand and unleashed a golden staff. The dragon pattern staff had completely transformed, with only the dragon pattern remaining crimson. Indeed, the transformation was significant. It could be called a golden dragon pattern staff. Its spirit had reached the highest level of quality, only slightly inferior to the clear sky hammer and the 7-killing sword. But the problem wasn't too serious. Having reached the top level of his martial spirit, old Li could obtain a 100,000-year spirit ring, thus achieving Li Yusong's goal. Then, they returned. Li Yusong had made a significant achievement. His left arm bone, derived from a golden python, was nearly 10,000 years old. The absorption of this spirit ring directly helped it reach 10,000 years. Because the spirit bone and the 7th spirit ring were from the same species, the synergy was immense, significantly increasing Li Yusong's strength. Furthermore, The Golden Python's golden bloodline helped Li Yusong push his Haoshan Wuji Gong to the 7th level of Vajra indestructibility, significantly improving his physical form and opening up his 8 extraordinary meridians. This allowed Li Yusong to absorb a spirit ring of a higher age. Li Yusong's spirit power had now reached level 74. The energy of the spirit ring, the 2 pieces of premium whale glue, the immortal herbs he had consumed, and the transformation of his spirit bone had transformed him. Li Yusong was no longer the weakest among the Shrek teachers. He could now battle Zhao Wuji, who was, of course, on the verge of a Soul Douluo breakthrough. The latest novel is now available on the 69th Book Forum. After leaving the Star Dou Great Forest, everyone enjoyed some time to relax. However, Li Luochen had a new idea. He needed to be tempered, so he decided to visit the Slaughter City. He was now 13.5 years old, with a soul power level of 57. He possessed a super weapon spirit, the Panlong Staff, and 4 soul bones, a 90,000-year-old spirit condensed demon-breaking skull, a 60,000-year-old golden brilliant left leg bone, a 40,000-year-old dragon wing external soul bone, and a 50,000-year-old Tyrannosaurus Rex external soul bone. This was already a formidable configuration. Tang Sam still had about 5 years until he arrived at Shrek Academy, marking the beginning of the main storyline. He needed to prepare in advance. Within 5 years, he was confident he could reach the Soul Emperor level. However, reaching his ultimate attributes was slow, and even with full effort, he would likely only reach the high-level Soul Emperor level, which was not cost-effective. Li Luochen estimated he could break through to Soul Emperor within 2 years. It would be even better if he could attain the Killing God domain. Having the Killing God domain would be extremely useful in battles of equal or even higher levels. Far superior to having a few more soul power levels. Li Luochen pondered this, and decided to ask Qianjin Douluo the next time he came to take him to the Slaughter City. Li Luochen felt he was currently adept at just training. But he wasn't up to the task of a life-or-death soul master battle. He saw too little blood and was very likely to be killed. Although he was confident in his talent, it was just talent. Until it translated into actual strength, talent was just talent, meaningless. The Slaughter City was a great place to see bloodshed and hone his staff skills. Combining Qianjin's staff techniques with his own fighting style, he could create his own unique martial arts. Although Li Luochen had originally wanted to go to the Slaughter City, the conditions were insufficient and risks were high. He now possessed 4 soul bones, a 90,000-year-old head soul bone, and a 60,000-year-old left leg bone with a light attribute. These bones would ensure Li Luochen was immune to the poisons of the Slaughter City and the emotional impact of the threat of death. Chapter 63, Say One Thing. Later, some original characters not found in the original novel will appear. These characters are avatars of fellow fans. 3 have been designed so far, and 1 will appear in Slaughter City. They're all in their 30s or 40s, and the highest of the 3 is already a level 86 Soul Douluo. The one with the highest cultivation level will definitely become a title Douluo before Tang Hao. Moreover, he's incredibly powerful, capable of fighting a Soul Douluo against a title Douluo. I've set a record for him defeating Lingyun Douluo. The one in Slaughter City is very young, having achieved Soul Sage status at the age of 32. He possesses a mutated martial spirit and a unique identity. He was framed and sent to Slaughter City. The protagonist rescues him and later becomes a teacher at Shrek Academy. These characters are the avatars of 3 fellow fans, all very powerful. Their appearance signifies that Tang San's opponents are only those with low intelligence and cerebral palsy, not Li Luochen's. Tang San is incredibly arrogant, daring to challenge the powerful without getting beaten. I find this outrageous. The level 86 original character will teach Gangxi and Tang San a lesson. The point is that in Douluo Continent, not only is you, Tang Hao, the youngest title Douluo, there are some who are even more talented than you. Destroying the Haoshan sect requires strength, right? Don't count on the Spirit Hall, they've split into 2 factions. But Jinriksu sides with a hero. Wow, you're the one who conquered Li Luochen, or was conquered by him? You're truly a free angel. Hey, someone suggested getting the little fox so I can use it to control the spider. I'd consider it. The main thing is, I really don't want to have too many female protagonists. Too many female protagonists, and they all have the same personality. Jinriksu has a better personality, a tsundere, stubborn little angel, who'd be different from Duguyan. Too many of the others would just make their personalities repetitive. QQ Group. 606,944,089. Chapter 64, Demon Subduing Douluo. One evening, 2 weeks after returning to Shrek, a voice reached Li Yusong while he was reading. Disciple, the old place. Hearing this, Li Yusong headed to a valley outside Shrek Academy, where King Douluo was teaching him staff techniques. Li Yusong immediately used his dragon wings to fly. King Douluo knew he possessed an external spirit bone, so there was no need to hide it. Soon, Li Yusong arrived at the valley. This time, King Douluo wasn't the only one there. Behind him stood a man who bore a striking resemblance to him. Li Yusong suspected it was the demon subduing Douluo. King Douluo frowned upon seeing Li Yusong. The last time he'd been there, Li Yusong had been level 45, but now he was already level 57. Sixth brother, is this your disciple? Level 57? Did he say 45? How did he improve so much? The demon subduing Douluo muttered after a closer look. King Douluo teleported to Li Yusong's side, placed a hand on his shoulder, and probed him with his spirit power. He worried that his disciple had learned the methods of a fallen soul master and his cultivation would skyrocket. If that were the case, he would certainly eliminate the sect. However, upon investigation, he discovered that Li Yusong's soul power was not chaotic, but extremely profound, its quality comparable to that of a soul Douluo, not at all like that of a fallen soul master. Furthermore, his ki and blood were vigorous, and his soul power was pure, unlike that produced by evil methods. But why was it improving so quickly? He couldn't understand. Disciple, can you tell me why you are improving so quickly? King Douluo asked tentatively. After all, this might be his disciple's secret, and even he, as the master, was not comfortable asking too many questions. It's like this. Grandpa Douluo encountered several rare treasures while traveling. I consumed a magical herb called the Kirantong Xianju, which greatly increased my soul power. Then, when I was a child, I discovered the special properties of whale glue. It's not an aphrodisiac, but a rare treasure that can enhance a spirit master's level and physical fitness. My second spirit ring is like that. Here's how to use it. So, I absorbed a spirit ring that surpassed my level, gained a right leg bone, and reached level 57. Li Yusong gave a brief, abridged account of the incident. King Jiangmo was unsure if it was true or not. Could an aphrodisiac like whale glue have such a use? They had to go back and test it out. King Douluo had already received several surprises from Li Yusong. During their first meeting, Li Yusong had accidentally revealed information about the Clear Sky sect. Upon returning to the worship hall, King Douluo found King Li Douluo alone. He asked King Li Douluo to secretly visit the Clear Sky sect and investigate its details. For unknown reasons, King Li Douluo went to investigate, and the results shocked him. The Haoshan sect's leader, Tang Xiao, had reached level 95, and the second elder had reached the peak of level 93. With the exception of the seventh elder, who remained at level 89, all the other elders were titled Douluo. The Haoshan sect already possessed 5 titled Douluo, a news that astonished the worship hall. The Haoshan sect had only been closed for a few years, yet its power had already amassed so much. King Douluo was also astonished. He didn't know how his disciple had learned this. But it was still useful information for the spirit hall. King Li Douluo had secretly gathered some information during his visit to the Haoshan sect. The Haoshan sect had been plotting to overthrow the spirit hall, accumulating strength in anticipation of Tang Chen's return or Tang Xiao's advancement to level 99. King Li Douluo scoffed at this idea, believing it made more sense to wait for Tang Chen's return. Reaching level 99? How difficult was that? King Li Douluo, with a soul power of level 97, had been stuck at the peak for over a decade, unable to break through to level 98. While comprehending one's martial soul can improve one's martial soul, a far superior method is to possess a 100,000-year spirit ring. The 3 ultimate Douluos all possess 100,000-year spirit rings, as does the only current 98th level golden crocodile Douluo. His King Li's strength is sufficient, even though his 9th spirit ring is 95,000 years old, yet still falls short of a 100,000-year spirit ring. The transformation a 100,000-year spirit ring can impart to a spirit master is sufficient to allow him to steadily reach 98th level. Possessing a 100,000-year spirit ring essentially grants him rank 98th, significantly reducing the bottleneck for a super Douluo. This is why 100,000-year spirit rings and spirit bones are considered precious treasures. They can lead a spirit master to ever higher realms, advancing from 97th level, one level higher. Without other means, they would be easily defeated by those of higher levels. The previous sword Douluo, Chen Jianjin, the father of the sword Dao Chenzin, possessed a spirit power of 97th level and possessed the 7 killing sword, a top-tier killing weapon. However, he was severely injured by the Grand Priest Sky Douluo Jin Daoliu. Jin Daoliu repelled Chen Jianjin's 9 kill attacks with just his own powerful spirit power. Chen Jianjin, in turn, was injured by Jin Daoliu's spirit power and died soon after. Even leaving aside the ultimate Douluo, Golden Crocodile Douluo's strength was formidable. At level 98, Golden Crocodile Douluo was more than capable of dealing with the combined might of King Li, Xiongxi, and Guangling. Though Golden Crocodile Douluo had lost his ambition and his fighting spirit, he was still no match for King Li and Douluo. When the ignorant members of the Haoshan sect claimed that Tang Xiao's ascension to level 99 was pure wishful thinking, King Li could see that Tang Xiao's limit was level 97, and that reaching level 98 would likely take decades. For those at level 97 without a 100,000-year spirit ring, reaching level 98 was incredibly difficult. Unless they experienced a sudden burst of inspiration and reached level 98 in one go, they could only rely on time. The latest novel is being released on the 69th book forum. King Li and Douluo hasn't even reached level 98 yet. The only person in the Haoshan sect with a chance of breaking through to level 99 is Tang Hao, but he was expelled from the sect. It's ridiculous. A brilliant battle soul hammer, a towering Haoshan sect? What a joke. Without Tang Chen, they're like a broken dog. The world's #1 weapon spirit? That's it. The scene returns to Qianjin Douluo and Li Luochen. Li Luochen briefly explains his opportunities, covering everything except his spirit-condensed demon-slaying skull, Tyrannosaurus Rex spine, and the yin-yang eyes of ice and fire. The master-disciple relationship on the Douluo Continent is very close. A spirit master can only have one master in their lifetime. Who knows which idiot came up with that? Li Luochen thinks Master Qianjin is quite good and wouldn't covet his spirit bones. Qianjin Douluo and Jiangmo Douluo were also astonished by Li Luochen's opportunity. The coiled dragon staff in Li Luochen's hand loomed large above theirs. You said you were going to the Slaughter City to hone your skills? Boy, do you know where that is? Upon hearing Li Luochen's desire to go to the Slaughter City, Jiangmo Douluo immediately felt that the boy was a bit overconfident. Of course I know. It's a haven for criminals, a gathering place for fallen spirit masters, right? But there are supposedly opportunities there. And I also want to see blood and hone my staff skills, Li Luochen spoke calmly. He wanted to hone himself in the Slaughter City, perhaps even make himself known to the Shrek god. He was confident he was no less capable than the young Tang Chen, perhaps even significantly stronger. After all, the youngest title Douluo was Tang Hao, and Tang Chen was certainly not yet 44. And Li Luochen was confident he could become a title Douluo before the age of 35. How could that not catch the eye of the Shrek god? Chapter 65, The Test of the Demon Subduing. Upon learning that Li Luochen wanted to train in the Slaughter City, Qianjin Douluo was at a loss for words. He knew what the Slaughter City was and what benefits it offered. But it was truly not a place for humans. The Slaughter City was a unique entity within the Douluo Continent, somewhat like a small world. Legend has it that it was created 1,000 years ago by a master who reached level 100. Soul skills were unusable here, and soul power was the only source of power. Only soul power or the original form of the martial spirit could survive. Surviving the Slaughter City would make one a slaughter god, gaining a domain-based skill called the Slaughter God Domain. Domain skills were extremely rare, and neither he nor the demon-subduing Douluo possessed them. There were two great slaughter gods in the world, Tang Hao of the Clear Sky sect and Bibi Dong of the Pope's Palace. Both were already titled Douluo. As his teacher, Li Luochen was pleased that his disciple was brave enough to go to the Slaughter City, but he was also somewhat worried that he might perish there. After all, such a brilliant successor is hard to find. Although he had only met Li Luochen a few times, he was impressed by his talents and personality. He was humble, intelligent, and meticulous, adept at finding opportunities in battle, a characteristic that perfectly suited his fighting style. He also disdained to flaunt his strength. Li Luochen simply lived in seclusion. Since you wish to go to Slaughter City, you must first gain your master's approval. Otherwise, you won't survive there, Qianjin said, unleashing his coiling dragon staff. Li Luochen knew that to reach Slaughter City, He would first have to overcome Kyanjin Douluo. After all, the hellish killing fields of Slaughter City were home to title Douluo level warriors. While they couldn't use spirit skills, the spirit power and physical prowess of a title Douluo were immense. Li Luochen was confident he wasn't afraid of any spirit master below the Soul Sage level, but Soul Douluo and title Douluo were two different things, so he planned to confront Kyanjin Douluo with all his might. Since spirit skills aren't allowed in the Slaughter City, Li Luochen didn't use any, relying solely on his staff skills to spar with Kyanjin Douluo. Good boy, after not seeing you for a few months, your staff skills have improved again. But it's not enough. Kyanjin Douluo marveled at Li Luochen's rapid progress, saying he had already mastered his Kyanjin staff technique. Nearby, Jiangmo Douluo was itching to join in. After a moment's hesitation, he summoned his coiling dragon staff and joined the fray. Li Luochen hadn't expected Jiangmo Douluo to join in, and the two brothers immediately engaged in a coordinated attack, sending Li Luochen fleeing in panic. The Kyanjin and Jiangmo fighting together wasn't just 1 + 1 = 2. They were brothers, wielding the same martial spirit, and their combined chemistry was unmatched. Together, they could rival Golden Crocodile Douluo, surpassing even the combined power of King Li, Xiongxi, and Guangling. The two brothers only needed a fusion spirit technique. Jiangmo's attacks were fierce, while Jinjin's were agile. Together, they formed a seamless unity, giving Li Luochen a true taste of tacit understanding. But he refused to give up. Jinjin Jiangmo was arguably the most formidable staff spirit master in the entire Douluo Continent, unrivaled in their skill. The opportunity to practice with him was truly rare. While Jinjin Jiangmo's attacks were sharp, he primarily relied on feeding attacks. Their chemistry was so strong that Jiangmo instantly understood why his brother had teamed up. Jinjin Douluo wanted Li Luochen to rival their combined staff skills alone, ultimately becoming the world's greatest weapon spirit and reaching the peak of level 99. The two brothers constantly passed on their lifelong learning to Li Luochen through combat. Li Luochen understood his master's intent, quickly memorizing the attacks and counterattacking them. He then incorporated Jinjin Jiangmo's unique skills into his own, creating his own unique staff technique. The three of them were absorbed in their sparring in the valley, while Dougubo, Douguyan, and Flanders watched from above. Dougubo simply pulled out a jar of wine and began to drink. What a spectacle! Upon returning from his travels, Dougubo learned that Li Luochen had become a disciple of Kyanjin Douluo and had secretly pledged his allegiance to a certain young master. Dougubo didn't care. With both he and Flanders away at the time, what could Li Luochen do? Refusal would be a dead end, while surrendering and joining was merely a temporary solution. He also later learned that the Spirit Hall boasted 7 super Douluos above level 96. Dougubo was confident he could defeat even one of them. But today, after witnessing the combined power of Kyanjin Jiangmo and the Demon Slayer, his confidence wavered. Although Kyanjin Jiangmo was feeding Li Luochen a few moves, Dougubo, with his foresight, could find no flaw in their combined attacks. Li Luochen was currently merely trying to hold his own. Dougubo felt he would be mortal against the two of them, Kyanjin Jiangmo. One mustn't underestimate the world's strongest. Dougubo had been somewhat cocky after defeating Zhu Douluo, but now, after witnessing Kyanjin Jiangmo, he was even more convinced that Super Douluo was merely a threshold. If he faced the invincible Sky Douluo, he'd be slain without even a single move. Even if he could reduce the opponent to title Douluo, they could still kill him instantly. Flanders confidently observed the Super Douluo battle. He had reached level 84 and could attempt to break through to title Douluo within 10 years. But even then, it seemed he wouldn't be able to do what he pleased. The latest novel is now available on the 6th-9th book bar. The Spirit Hall's formidable force was innumerable. Kyanjin Douluo's aura was enough to annihilate him, a Soul Douluo, with a single blow, leaving him defenseless. Flanders, his increased strength had also led him to become somewhat complacent, and now Kyanjin Jiangmo was there to help him fight back. Douguyan watched Li Luochen fight. Days earlier, Li Luochen had told her of his plans. Initially, she strongly objected, but Li Luochen had his reasons for going, and even though she was deeply reluctant, she had no choice. Li Luochen reassured her, promising to marry her upon his return. He hoped to complete the Hell Road within 2 years, but his temperament would change drastically after leaving the Slaughter City, and he needed to stabilize himself before seeking Douguyan again. Otherwise, Douguyan's occasional bursts of murderous aura could easily harm her, something Li Luochen didn't want to see. To that end, he needed to be fully prepared. He would set out at the age of 14, spending nearly a year preparing everything necessary for the slaughter city. The city of killing is not a good place. Once you enter, you will have no friends, only enemies. If you want to survive there, you need a lot of things. Chapter 66 Preparations before departure. In the valley, Li Luochen was still fending off the combined attacks of Qianzhen and Jiangmo. He was already seriously injured, but his fighting spirit remained undiminished. The essence of the Panlong staff technique lies in battling heaven and earth. Li Luochen gradually grasped some of the feeling, that pure intention, the momentum of battling heaven and earth. It's okay. Although it's not yet complete, I believe you can perfect your intention in the slaughter city. Get ready. In a year, Jiangmo and I will go to the slaughter city, Qianzhen Douluo said. Yes, thank you for your guidance, teacher, Li Luochen nodded in agreement. What about me? You only thank my brother, not me? Do you still want to be beaten? Jiangmo Douluo said with his eyes bulging. He was clearly teaching with all his heart, but in the end, no one thanked him. He was very unhappy. Li Luochen and Qianzhen. Thank you, Master Jiangmo, for your teachings. Your staff techniques are like the unending flow of a river. Countless compliments to remit. Jiangmo Douluo was also flattered by the compliments, his expression beaming, his head tilted 45 degrees, his face brimming with pride. Qianzhen, my little brother, how could you be so naive? It's so tiring to take care of me. My apprentice is truly brilliant. Afterward, Li Luochen and the two masters discussed staff techniques and other minor matters, and Qianzhen and Jiangmo left. They didn't greet the Shrek Academy arrivals. Aside from their surprise at Douluo's soul power reaching level 95, nothing else happened. Even if Douluo was level 95, so what? Together, they could rival a level 98. A mere 95? Douluo also ignored Qianzhen and Jiangmo. He had learned a lot tonight, gaining a deeper understanding of the Super Douluo realm, which would save him considerable time in his quest for level 96. Flan's insights weren't as profound, but he had gained a new understanding of the use of soul power. His soul power was gradually solidifying, and his cultivation speed had slowed significantly. With an average level increase of 1.5 years, reaching title Douluo would take a long time. After watching his two masters leave, Li Luochen collapsed to the ground. He was exhausted, and with significant injuries, he didn't want to move at all. Soon, Douluo, Douluyan, and Flan came down from the valley. Douluyan fed Shaozin's recovery beans to Li Luochen. After consuming the beans, Li Luochen felt his recovery speed increase. As expected of a food-type soul sage, his soul skills were truly impressive. After digesting a wave of the beans, Li Luochen had already recovered almost completely. Li Luochen sat up, pondering what he needed. The slaughter city was no place for fun. To obtain the God of Death domain, he had to complete 100 victories in the slaughter field and then proceed through the Hell Road. The Hell Road consisted of 3 stages, bats, the 10-headed blazing sun snake, and the final sprint. The difficulty was exceptional. Although Li Luochen's health had recovered, he was weak and was carried back by Du Guyan. Yes, that was Du Guyan. Du Guyan was now a powerful attack-type battle soul sect member, on the verge of becoming a soul king. Her strength was immense. Li Luochen leaned on Du Guyan's back, contemplating what was to come. When he regained consciousness, he realized he was being carried by Du Guyan. No, why am I being carried by Yanzi? This must be the other way around, but Yanzi smells so good. Not long after, Du Guyan carried Li Luochen back home. She was about to leave when Li Luochen stopped her. Yanzi, I have another immortal herb. Would you like to try it? Li Luochen asked bluntly. More? We've already had enough. Too much is as bad as too little. Du Guyan had already consumed several immortal herbs, which had greatly improved her health. She was afraid that taking too much would damage her foundation. Du Guyan was now 15 years old, and her soul power had reached the peak of level 48. She could break through to Soul King within a year, and then break through to Soul Emperor in another 3 years. She should be able to break through to title Douluo in her 30s. Other possibilities are possible. This magical herb is also the king of flowers, ranked among the divine products, and its name is Acacia Heartbroken Red. Long ago, there was a young man with a tranquil nature. He loved to cultivate flowers and plant trees. His garden was filled with green lotus roots, and a myriad of colors. He would usually recite poems to the flowers and raise his cup to the moon. However, when a petal fell, he would feel infinite sorrow. He would gather the petals, dig them up, and bury them in the ground, shedding tears again and again. As the saying goes, love moves heaven and earth. His love for flowers moved the flower fairy in heaven, who secretly married him in the mortal world, and they enjoyed a happy life together. However, good times did not last long. When the gods learned of this, they were furious and, believing that immortals and mortals were not compatible, ordered the flower fairy to be transferred back to the divine realm. Since losing his lover, the young man sighed all day long, depressed and unhappy, and gave up on flower cultivation. As a result, the walls and fences collapsed, the flowers and trees withered, and the garden was filled with desolation. One day, a white-haired old man arrived and told him that the white peony he loved most in his garden was the embodiment of his beloved wife. He told him that if he destroyed the flower fairy would lose her celestial form and be banished to the mortal world to reunite with him, but he must not destroy the flower. With these words, he transformed into a gentle breeze and departed. The young man suddenly realized his mistake and deeply regretted his poor treatment of the flowers. He then meticulously cared for them. Although he loved his wife, he couldn't bear to burn the peony, so he cherished it even more. Day and night, he wept before the flower, his tears dried and his heart was broken. He died of longing. In his final moments, he poured his blood on the petals. As he died, the peony instantly turned to grass, staining the pristine white petals with the young man's bloody blood, hence the name Heartbroken Love Sickness Red. The latest novel is now available on the 69th book bar. Consuming this herb grants immortality equal to heaven and earth, increasing soul power by at least 10 levels. It also comprehensively transforms the body, capable of bringing the dead back to life and turning bones into flesh. Once the flower is plucked, it will remain forever within its owner's reach. The stone beneath the flower is named Wuju. If forcibly destroyed, the acacia Heartbroken Red will lose all its medicinal properties. It can only possess one master in its lifetime. And once it has chosen one, it remains forever. To others, it will be incredibly resilient, and even the soul power of a tidal Douluo cannot destroy it. When plucking, one must think of their beloved, with all sincerity and devotion, casting a single drop of their heart's blood upon the petals. Any hesitation, even if it means vomiting blood and dying, will prevent them from plucking the flower. After listening to Li Luochun's description, Du Guyan felt that this was a flower of love, one whose affections demanded utter sincerity and single-minded devotion. Li Luochun took out the acacia Heartbreak Red. It was currently an ordinary-looking white flower, palm-sized and shaped like a peony, without any leaves. Attached to its stem was a large stone, pitch black and incredibly heavy. Atop the white flower, a few flakes of startling red, a blood-red hue that gave it a thrilling feel. Du Guyan gazed at the flower, thinking of her first encounter and acquaintance with Li Luochun. "Little pretty boy, how dare you hit me? Do you know who my grandfather is? How dare you hit me? Even my grandfather never hit me. Grandpa will beat him, beat this pretty boy to death. Excuse me, let me introduce myself again. My name is Du Guyan. Chen, this is how my grandfather's poison works. Wow, Chen, this is so fun. Chen, it seems like we'll be together forever. Humph, I order you to stay with me from now on and not be separated from me." It's great to have Chen around. Du Guyan thought about every little detail of her and Li Luochun, with a sweet smile on her face. Chapter 67, Love Sickness. As Du Guyan reminisced, Li Luochun, as if on telepathic note, also recalled their acquaintance. "Who bumped into me? I'm blind. Who do you think you are, my father's anger? So what if I beat you up? This can't be Du Guyan, you're scolding me like that. Can a living person be killed by holding their urine? Beat me up first. You're so unsportsmanlike that you let Grandpa beat me up. No need to apologize, no fight, no friendship. Let me introduce myself again. My name is Li Luochun. Du Guyan seems pretty good too. Yanzi has a really good personality. She's lively and active, well-educated and well-mannered, and most importantly, she has a heroic air. She doesn't have the pretentious air of an aristocratic woman. Yanzi, do you think this looks good? Wear it on your head, Yanzi. You see, this flower suits you very well. Yanzi, I like you, and I will definitely solve your hidden dangers. Yanzi, I find that I can't live without you. You seem to be poisonous, but this poison makes me unable to extricate myself. What's so corny? It's just cheesy love talk. But I really like you and won't change my mind. Okay, let's make a pinky promise to be with you for the rest of my life. Yanzi, it's great to have you around for the rest of my life. Li Luochen recalled every little detail with Du Yan, and felt something in his heart. Puff, 2 mouthfuls of heart blood fell on the acacia heartbroken red. That's right, Du Yan and Li Luochen took a selfie on their chests in perfect sync, forcing out heart blood to pour on the acacia heartbroken red. The acacia heartbroken red seemed to have sensed something, and a red light shone brightly, enveloping the two of them, and a faint voice rang out. I didn't expect this. I've seen many truly passionate and affectionate people, but now I've actually encountered a couple who have both been recognized by the heartbreak red. Such a temperament is truly rare. You two must be good friends. If neither of you is, then there would be no love in the world. Ho ha, my name is the flower god, a dazzling, vibrant flower, exuding a golden red hue, floated between the two of them. Li Luochen and Du Yan were still in shock. In reality, they hadn't spoken beforehand. The simultaneous spurt of heart blood, as if by some telepathic connection, they acted in unison. The heartbreak red can only have one owner, as it's rare for someone to be recognized, and even more rare for two people to be recognized simultaneously. Li Luochen and Du Yan have truly created a new legend. Furthermore, the bond between Li Luochen and Du Yan seems to have deepened. They had already felt a connection when they took the Kirin Tong Shinju and Shuxin Yujigu, though it felt a bit strange back then. Now, the bond is palpable, and each can clearly sense the other's state. Li Luochen and Du Yan simultaneously grasped each other's hands, their soul powers merging, their spirits also merging. Soul fusion technique, X2, indeed, Li Luochen and Du Yan had achieved a soul fusion technique, and it was a perfect match. Their soul powers merged seamlessly, without any obstruction, and they both felt the terrifying power unleashed by their combined souls. Li Luochen and Du Yan exchanged glances, understanding each other's intentions with a single glance. They ran straight to Du Bo after a while. What? Soul fusion technique? Du Bo stared in surprise. He understood the meaning of a soul fusion technique perfectly. Two soul masters directly merged their spirits. To possess a soul fusion technique, if not blood relatives, then those with very close relationships could marry, opposite-sex couples, and same-sex. Well, just look at the two generals of the spirit hall. Du Bo also discovered that Li Luochen and Du Yan's fusion was extremely high. He was certain it was higher than the spirit hall's Sissy and Old Ghost, and even higher than the Star Luo Empire's Netherworld White Tiger. Let's go to that valley to practice. Du Bo immediately stood up and flew towards the valley. Li Luochen used his dragon wings to carry Du Yan over, and the heartbroken acacia red followed closely. To be more precise, it had shrunk slightly and clung to Du Yan's hair. It was indeed a divine herb, a bit outrageous. Furthermore, the heartbroken acacia red possessed the ability to protect its master, making it indestructible to ordinary tidal Douluo. It also exerted a natural restraint on all plant spirits and spirit beasts, including the Blue-Silver Emperor. Soon, the valley. You two, give it your all. I can handle it, Du Bo said casually. How powerful could the fusion skills of a Soul King and a Soul Sect be? Luochen and Yan'an could easily defeat enemies of higher levels. At best, their fusion skills were only close to those of a Soul Douluo. Li Luochen and Du Yan clasped their hands, their spirit powers merging. Li Luochen's martial spirit appeared before him, as did Du Yan's. Du Yan's golden-scaled jade dragon spirit coiled around the coiled dragon staff, the two becoming one. Instantly, Li Luochen and Du Yan understood the power of the fusion technique. They simultaneously raised their hands and addressed Du Bo. Bitter seas of suffering, all beings transcend. The coiled dragon staff soared into the clouds, suddenly expanding countless times in size before slamming down towards Du Bo. Du Bo, previously relaxed, took a defensive stance as he gazed at the massive staff overhead. No Soul Douluo could withstand this power. If I were still level 91, I would have been injured if I'd resisted this attack head-on. This power is beyond the reach of an ordinary tidal Douluo. I'd probably need the spirit power of level 93 to withstand it. Du Bo sensed the power of all beings transmitted and immediately unleashed his true spirit form, engaging the coiled dragon staff head-on. Boom. The latest novel is being released on the 69th book forum. Exploding fireworks, what an artistic feat. Du Bo emerged from the smoke, his clothes unstained, seemingly unharmed. Li Luochen and Du Yan had already expended 60% of their soul power in just one move. This move was incredibly powerful, unmatched among title Douluo. However, they felt they hadn't yet unleashed something. Carefully savoring the fusion of their soul powers, the coiled dragon staff and the golden-scaled jade dragon separated. Li Luochen and Du Yan merged, the resulting being embodying Du Yan's features. Their entire body was transformed into dragon, and their skin was covered in dragon scales. Meanwhile, Du Yan wielded the coiled dragon staff in his right hand, while the golden-scaled jade dragon transformed into armor and draped it over his body. This figure exuded a heroic air, like a veteran general, a valiant presence. The dragon god of war has descended, reigning supreme. Du Yan, clutching the coiled dragon staff, instantly leaped towards Dugubo. Dugubo blocked the blow with one hand. With a bang, the two separated. Du Yan was unharmed, but Dugubo's hand, which had blocked the blow, was numb and trembling. Hiss, so powerful. Judging by the fluctuations in his soul power, he must be a soul Douluo. But to be able to wield the might of a title Douluo is truly terrifying. Dugubo felt the force of the blow. He didn't use his soul skills to block it, relying instead on his physical body and soul power. His limited soul power resulted in a loss. Dragon glory, destroy evil. Du Yan hurled the coiled dragon staff, which now radiated astonishing power. Oh no. Fifth soul skill, snake python heavenly shield. Dugubo employed a defensive soul skill to block the blow. The previous attack was truly powerful, and to avoid embarrassment, he immediately unleashed a soul skill. After the attack, Li Luochen and Du Yan disintegrated. The two supported each other, their faces were pale, and their soul power was overconsumed. Chapter 68 Training 30. Li Luochen and Du Yan exchanged a glance, a hint of a smile crossing their faces. Dugubo arrived shortly after, observing them with a strange expression. Your two spirit fusion techniques are incredibly powerful. Your current cultivation levels are low, preventing you from engaging in prolonged combat. However, I sense a very high degree of integration. And how could there be two types of spirit fusion techniques? Dugubo wondered what was going on lately. Why were there so many strange things happening? It was fine for a spirit king to possess the combat power of a spirit saint, but how could two spirit fusion techniques have two different types? It completely defied the spirit master world's understanding of spirit fusion techniques. He couldn't comprehend it. The spirit fusion techniques of figures like Zhu Wu Douluo and others had a compatibility level of around 30%, while the nether white tiger of the Xingluo Empire had a compatibility level of around 70%. Dugubo had seen nether white tigers before. He could clearly sense that his granddaughter and grandson-in-law's spirit fusion techniques exceeded 70%. Grandpa, I suspect the fusion of Yanzi's and my spirits has reached 100% fusion, a perfect fusion. Perfect fusion creates two fusion techniques. Furthermore, the fusion of Yanzi's and my spirits can increase our cultivation speed. Li Luochen, a time traveler, knew something. Wasn't that the case with Hogua and Tang Wutong? And they even had 3 lives, what a stunner. Is that so? Martial spirits are truly marvelous. Let's go back. Dugubo had seen a lot of new things lately and needed to digest them. The 3 of them soon returned to Shrek Academy. Du Yan had wanted to return to her dorm, but Li Luochen stopped her. Li Luochen wanted to try it out and see if training together would be much faster. He remembered that Hogua and Tang Wutong's training together was much faster than training alone, but he wasn't sure if that was true. So, Li Luochen and Du Yan sat on the bed, hands pressed together, and entered a state of cultivation. The two simultaneously practiced this Haoshan Wuji Guang, absorbing the surrounding celestial energy. As their soul powers merged, the absorption of this energy intensified. This fused soul power circulated through their respective great and small circulations, allowing them to cultivate at least twice as fast as their own. Du Yan successfully broke through to level 49. She had already reached the peak of level 48, and today presented a perfect opportunity. The night passed, and the two opened their eyes simultaneously, looking at each other. This is incredibly fast. Even with my ultimate attributes, it's still fast. It would have significantly shortened the time it would take to break through to Soul Emperor. By the way, Yanzi, take the Acacia Heartbreak Red. It will transform your body and boost your soul power, Li Luochen said with emotion. Then, remembering the Acacia Heartbreak Red, he decided to eat it now to avoid further trouble. Huh? Did they say it won't wither once it recognizes its master? It's a symbol of our love. Isn't it a bad idea to eat it like this, Du Yan? Having received the memory of the acacia heartbreak red, didn't want to eat the large flower. Li Luochen, in fact, also had this memory. This also made him understand why Xiao Wu didn't want to eat the flower, but he felt that rapid improvement was the best option. Yanzi, you should eat it. Improving your strength will make our lives more comfortable. The continent is no longer peaceful, and we need strength. That's why I am going to the slaughter city. Our talents have been elevated by the immortal grass, but we're still not titled Douluo, so we're still in danger. It's best to grow early. Besides, do our feelings need this flower to validate and bear witness? No, we're still very close without it, Li Luochen's words reassured Du Guyan. At 15, she had reached level 49 in soul power, and she was expected to break through level 50 and become a soul king this year. A 15-year-old soul king was the second youngest soul king after Li Luochen. They were sure to reach soul emperor before the age of 20 and become titled Douluo in their mid-30s. But Du Guyan still pales in comparison to Li Luochen. Li Luochen is now in the late 57th level, 8 levels higher than her. She has always been one major realm behind him. She doesn't want to be Li Luochen's sidekick, but rather a good wife and supporter. Du Guyan understands that Li Luochen can only trust himself, his grandfather Du Gubo, and his own grandfather Li Yusong. Even the teachers at Shrek Academy are a concern, not for harm, but for information they might steal, which would be unsafe. Moreover, Du Guyan has learned the true power of the Douluo Continent, and even her grandfather isn't fearless. At least there are extreme Daoluos on the continent who can instantly kill Du Gubo, so Du Guyan is determined to help Li Luochen. She then removes the acacia heartbreak red from her hair. A dazzling, vibrant flower, radiating a golden red hue. Truly beautiful, it truly lives up to its title of divine herb, the king of all immortal herbs. Du Guyan observed it for a moment before consuming it. While the acacia heartbreak red's medicinal properties were the strongest among the immortal herbs, they were also the most gentle. It possessed the power to bring the dead back to life, effectively giving them a second life. Even if it wasn't life-saving, it could boost Du Guyan's current level 10 soul power, transform her body, and comprehensively elevate her mental strength. At this moment, Du Guyan was surrounded by a red light, and her martial spirit, the golden scale jade dragon, also appeared. The red light enveloped the dragon, transforming it. The dragon's martial spirit began to slowly transform, becoming more sacred and noble. Li Luochen could feel his panlong staff trembling. The latest novel is now available on the 6th book bar. His panlong staff had absorbed the markings of 5 dragon-type soul beasts, bearing their imprints. But now, those markings were reacting so strongly to the evolved golden scale jade dragon. Li Luochen felt that the divinity within the heartbroken love red had transformed Du Guyan's body and spirit. A divine herb should have these effects, possessing even greater abilities beyond saving lives. Du Guyan's spirit became increasingly sacred and noble, each scale as beautiful as jade. This dragon spirit was a brand new dragon spirit based on an eastern dragon. It was far more beautiful than those large lizard dragons. Li Luochen loved it. The little dragon girl was becoming more and more beautiful. Overall, this spirit resembled a golden azure dragon, incomparably sacred and noble. Its very presence symbolized auspiciousness, as if she were a natural king. Du Guyan also opened her eyes. Her entire body transforming into dragon-like form. A true little dragon girl, with dragon horns on her head, a dragon tail behind her, and her skin covered in dragon scales. Li Luochen, his chin in his hand, examined Du Guyan. Those dragon scales were truly beautiful, emerald green yet radiating a golden glow. Hiss, the dragon rider wasn't bad either. How do you feel, Yanzi? Li Luochen looked at Du Guyan, whose whole body had changed drastically. Du Guyan's appearance had become even more devastating. She was already a great beauty, and now she had a noble aura. Tisk tisk tisk, anyway, this is a good deal for me. Very good, my soul power has reached level 50, and I should be able to break through. My martial soul is called Golden Brilliant Azure Dragon. I'm not sure of its level, but it is much stronger than the previous golden scaled jade dragon. Moreover, I can now control the 5 attributes of water, earth, wood, poison, and space, and my whole body has been completely transformed into a dragon. I think I can kill a soul sage in this dragon state. Hiss, so terrifying. If you are listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means it was downloaded and re-uploaded without effort. We warmly invite you to visit our channel, Fanfic World. There you will find the original version of this story and many other novels of various genres. We look forward to seeing you dive into a world of incredible novels. Chapter 69. 1 year later. Li Luochen marveled at Dougu Yan's immense strength. Wow, you were supposed to be strengthening, but you ended up overtaking me. Li Luochen placed a hand on Dougu Yan's shoulder and used his spirit power to examine her condition. He was astonished to see that Dougu Yan's body had reached the level of a soul Douluo, only slightly weaker than Li Luochen's. Her mental power had also surged, reaching a depth as deep as a prison. Her mental strength was now comparable to Li Luochen's, if not slightly higher. Li Luochen speculated that Dougu Yan's fifth spirit ring, like his, was 60,000 years old, her sixth 80,000 years old, and her seventh 100,000 years old. Dougu Yan now possessed 4 spirit bones, a pair of 30,000-year-old dark gold terror claws, a 100,000-year-old spirit condensed demon slayer skull, and a 60,000-year-old black jade black mamba left arm bone. Thanks to the acacia heartbreak red, Dougu Yan's spirit bones had been elevated to a new level, further fused with her, meaning that even if Dougu Yan died, she would not drop any. Simply put, incredible. Moreover, Dougu Yan's golden azure dragon, transformed by the heartbroken acacia red, has reached the rank of divine level spirit, surpassing Li Luochen's coiled dragon staff. The divine great immortal herb, heartbroken acacia red, imbues her spirit with divinity, which, when integrated into her spirit, allows her to evolve into divine level spirit. Li Luochen's coiled dragon staff is currently only a super level spirit. Dougu Yan's innate spirit power is at level 7. Consuming the 9th grade purple Ganoderma pill, earth dragon golden gourd, and Narcissus jade muscle bone has already boosted her innate spirit power to full strength, in fact, even faster than reaching full innate spirit power. Now, after consuming the heartbroken acacia red, her talent has increased significantly, rivaling Jinring Su, who possesses a level 20 innate spirit power. Dougu Yan's absorption of her 5th spirit ring is likely to boost her by several more levels. Furthermore, the medicinal power of the heartbroken acacia red has further advanced Dougu Yan's cultivation, directly elevating her to the 7th level of Vajra indestructibility, the pinnacle of the 7th level. Once she reaches Soul Sage, she will be able to advance to the 8th level and condense the 3 flowers on the crown. Li Luochen spent the next few days preparing for his trip to Slaughter City. While it would involve bloodshed and personal hardening, he needed to be well prepared. He brought along Dougu Bo's poison, various antidotes, tranquilizing pills, poison powder, and other items. He also cleaned out his storage device, as there were some items he didn't need to bring with him this time, like gold soul coins, gems, and rare metals. He placed these items in a soul device and handed them to Dougu Yan. It could be said that Dougu Yan had inherited Li Luochen's accumulated wealth over the years, worth millions of gold soul coins. As for why so many? Li Luochen had a problem. He loved gold, silver, and jewelry. Sometimes he'd enjoy swimming in piles of gold soul coins. The gold soul coins of Douluo Continent were made of pure gold. He also had a collecting habit, buying gemstones and night-shining pearls whenever he saw them. He bought them because they looked nice and made him feel good. He could do without them, but he couldn't live without them. Well, Li Luochen simply loved these material possessions. Elsewhere. In Xiandao City, at the prince's mansion, Jinring Su already knew that Li Luochen intended to train in the Slaughter City. Passing through it would grant him the Killing God realm, a realm also possessed by that woman. Jinring Su could see the man's strong ambition, his desire to hone himself in the Slaughter City, a goal she greatly admired, and she couldn't wait to meet Li Luochen. As the young master, she hadn't even had a proper conversation with her subordinates. She was determined to keep this prodigy, Li Luochen, at any cost, money, status, spirit bones, even herself. Stop. Anyone but her could do it, worthy of being called a free angel. However, the letter mentioned Li Luochen's cultivation level, which made Jinring Su's face grim. It claimed that Li Luochen had already reached the 57th level of Battle Soul King, and that he had achieved this through no unorthodox methods, possessing only natural resources and treasures. Jinring Su was only level 58 now. With Emperor Zia gradually delegating power to her, she was also managing state affairs, which had delayed her cultivation. But she hadn't expected the former Soul Master Genius to surpass her. Jinring Su, with her pride, refused to accept it. What kind of extraordinary treasure was so powerful? The letter claimed Dougu Bo had found it in a lake in the starred-out Great Forest, even engaging in a fierce battle with the Titan ape. Not only Li Luchen, but also Du Guyan had made significant improvements. Du Guyan had already reached the level of a high-level soul master, with a fourth soul ring of 10,000 years. Jin Ringsu knew Du Guyan was only 2 years younger than her. Had she become so powerful thanks to this extraordinary treasure? This incident had also fueled Jin Ringsu's competitive spirit. She hadn't expected anyone besides the Pope to rival her in talent, and two at that. She couldn't accept it. Jin Ringsu resolved to cultivate diligently, striving for a soul emperor breakthrough within a year. A year later, Xiandao City, Dugubo's residence. Over half a year ago, Qianjin Douluo sent a message saying they were heading to Xiandao City, as it would be closer to the slaughter city. Li Luchen had been in Xiandao City for 6 months, living there with Du Guyan, Dugubo, and, of course, another. When Flanders heard they were coming, they jumped at the chance. Shrek Academy affairs had been handed over to Zhao Wuji. He'd been working so hard, old Zhao. Just 2 weeks ago, when Li Luchen visited Flanders at Tyrannosaurus Academy, he noticed Liu Erlong's belly was slightly bulging. Li Luchen. 6. You've got to blame, Dean. She's already pregnant. Not to mention the fait accompli, they're already having a child. Li Luchen later spoke with Flanders and explained that Liu Erlong's father, Yu Luomian, the second in command of the Blue Lightning Tyrannosaurus Rex family, had approved of her and Flanders' relationship. Actually, Flanders isn't exactly handsome, but with some grooming, he's still presentable. His main strength lies in his impressive strength, at level 84 Soul Douluo, while Yu Luomian is only level 87. The latest novel is being released on the 69th Book Forum. Furthermore, Flanders is incredibly kind to Liu Erlong. How could Yu Luomian disapprove of someone so capable and kind to her daughter? He's definitely better than that FW. Liu Erlong now possesses 2 soul bones and has taken some magical herbs. But she's only in her 30s and has already reached level 75. The Shrek Academy teachers, Zhao Wuji and Lu Kibin, have all achieved breakthroughs. Zhao Wuji is an 81st Soul Douluo, Lu Kibin is a 71st Soul Saint. And then there's Xiaozin, a level 75 food-type Soul Saint. As for old Li Yusong's soul power has reached level 76. Li Luchen secretly gave him the golden python skull, and he advanced by more than a level. 6 months later, Li Yusong reached another level, and he's already a soul sage. A Soul Douluo can't detect his specific level. Old Li is now experiencing a resurgence, and perhaps he'll be able to advance to Soul Douluo in about 4 years. By then, Li Luchen will have to carefully search for a soul beast of 70,000 to 80,000 years old for him. Chapter 70, Changes in Everyone. Finally, our main character, Du Guyan, has a respectable demeanor, but her strength is a bit outrageous. Du Guyan's soul power has reached level 63. Who told me that Acacia Heartbreak Red only increases by 10 levels? Du Guyan, originally level 40, was hit by a blow from me, old Li. It's no wonder she reached a bottleneck. The most outrageous result is that Du Guyan absorbed the 60,000-year-old spirit ring from a water and wood attributed dragon, gaining her 5th spirit skill. 5th spirit skill, Dragon's Might shocks the sea. Scales suddenly rise to the surface, and deep energy buries itself within her, imbuing her attacks with intense force and power. But that's not all. After absorbing the spirit ring, Du Guyan's soul power exploded, and the remaining medicinal properties accumulated in Du Guyan's body from precious treasures like Earth Dragon Golden Gourd, 9th grade Purple Ganoderma Pill, Narcissus Jade Muscle and Bone, and Whale Glue were all tapped into by Acacia Heartbreak Red. As for the conflict of medicinal properties, they're all little brothers before the Heartbroken Love Red. Moreover, this Heartbroken Love Red was blessed by the Flower God, awakened by the heartblood of Li Luchen and Du Guyan, awakening the Flower God and receiving his blessing. This Heartbroken Love Red was unlike the others, possessing a potent medicinal effect and imbued with a celestial aura, instantly helping Du Guyan reach her level 60 bottleneck. The old poisonous creature was horrified, holding his granddaughter and looking left and right, fearing something was amiss. But there was nothing wrong. Her soul power, ki, blood, physique, and mental strength were all exceptionally strong. Dugubo then took Du Guyan on another soul beast hunt. After much effort, Dugubo helped Du Guyan acquire an 80,000-year-old nether bone dragon. Ghost bone dragon, sub-dragon species, combining nether and dragon bloodlines. The ghost bone dragon is a sub-dragon species soul beast, combining nether and dragon bloodlines. Its unique nether attribute can cause a wide range of soul power depletion in battle, significantly weakening the enemy's combat effectiveness. This trait gives it a certain advantage in spiritual attack and defense. Dou Guyan acquired her 6th soul skill, Golden Brilliant Heaven-Slaying Roar. Effect: unleashes a powerful dragon roar, weakening the target's overall attributes by 40%, doubling its effectiveness against dragon-type spirits. The sonic attack also damages the target's body and mind, stacking with soul power. After absorbing her 6th soul ring, Dou Guyan's level finally became clear. 63. While Li Luochen was still hovering around 58, a level increase in a year, Dou Guyan had already surpassed him, becoming a Soul Emperor. The 2 high-age soul rings significantly boosted Dou Guyan's power. Li Luochen believed Dou Guyan could easily reach a 7th soul ring of 100,000 years. Dou Guyan already possessed a 100,000-year-old skull, a 60,000-year-old left arm bone, and twin dark gold terror claws with attached soul bones, giving her exceptional physical fitness. It's perfectly possible to absorb a 100,000-year spirit ring, but where to find it is the question. Li Luochen's first choice is the Titan Ape, as it offers a large bonus and its attributes are suitable for Dou Guyan. One day, while Li Luochen was meditating in the courtyard, Qianjin Douluo and Jiangmo Douluo arrived. This time, they were dressed casually, not wearing their offering robes. Li Luochen quickly stood up and called to Qianjin Jiangmo, "Master, second master, let's go. I'll take you to the slaughter city," Qianjin Douluo said coldly, a character Li Luochen had long since grown accustomed to. "Okay, I'll go say goodbye to Yanzi." Li Luochen quickly walked into the room, found Dou Guyan reading, and hugged her. Dou Guyan knew that Li Luochen's embrace meant they were going to a dangerous place, and she wanted to go with him, but Li Luochen refused to agree, saying it was not a place for humans. The two held each other quietly for 5 minutes, savoring the momentary warmth. Then Li Luochen released her and turned to head outside. He feared he'd regret it. The land of gentlemen, the tomb of heroes. If he didn't leave now, he might never want to go to the slaughter city again. He needed to hone his skills. Douluo Continent would be the battlefield of the gods, and he must become a god to protect the people he cared about. Neither the crazy woman from the spirit hall nor Bingqing Yuji could be trusted. Jin Rinxu was merely a stepping stone. He had to rely on himself in everything. He had to follow through on the path he had set his mind on. "I'll wait for you to come back," Dou Guyan said, trembling with tears. Li Luochen paused, his gaze firm. "Yes, I will." Li Luochen dropped his vow and hurried out, leaving Dou Guyan alone in the room, weeping inconsolably. Dou Gubo had arrived early. He looked at the 2 little creatures before him without interrupting. This was their farewell. He had already learned from Qianjin Jiangmo where the slaughter city was. After learning about this, he felt that the place was inhospitable. Li Luochen would have to stay there for several more years, and he shuddered to imagine what would happen if he stayed there for too long. But that place truly could strengthen one. Tang Hao and the current pope, Bibi Dong, both hailed from that place, both formidable figures. At least Dou Gubo was certain he couldn't defeat Tang Hao. Now at level 95, he knew the terrifying nature of this realm. Tang Hao, a newly minted title Douluo, defeated the previous pope, Jin Zunji, who possessed a seraph spirit and was accompanied by 2 title Douluos. The result? One of the 2 title Douluos died, while the other was seriously injured. Jin Zunji succumbed to his injuries shortly thereafter. He had never met Bibi Dong, so he didn't know about her. However, it was rumored that Bibi Dong had twin spirits, the first person to successfully cultivate one. It was unimaginable. Outside, Li Luochen looked at Qianjin Jiangmo with a determined expression. Although there was surprise in Qianjin Jiangmo's eyes, he said nothing and left with Li Luochen. They then departed from Xiandao City for the slaughter city. Elsewhere, at the prince's mansion, "Young master, they're gone," Snake Spear Douluo reported. The latest novels are first published on the 6th book forum. Gone? What a terrifying fellow. Not only does he cultivate quickly and have endless opportunities, but he also wants to hone his skills in places unsuitable for human beings. "Alice, I must cultivate diligently, or he'll surpass me," Jin Rinxu sighed. She had received a great deal of knowledge and had learned the wonders of whale glue. The heirs of the ancestral family had also begun consuming it, finding its potent medicinal properties. Jin Daoliu observed this and personally set out to see. exchanging 250,000-a-year soul bones with Poseidon for 200,000-a-year whale glue pieces. Poseidon had no idea what Jin Douluo was up to. Was he anxious to have children? Even though she knew whale glue was a rare treasure, humans were still curious about its use. The demon soul great white shark told her that whale glue could help improve the cultivation of their sea soul beasts and had certain aphrodisiac properties. Poseidon was unsure of Jin Douluo's purpose. It was said that his son had died a few years ago. Was he trying to start a new one? That wasn't right. Jin Douluo was a man of integrity, not like that kind of person. This was what Poseidon admired about him. Unfortunately, while Jin Douluo was a good person, he was ultimately no match for Tang Chen. Tang Chen, where are you? Elsewhere, after replacing the whale glue, Jin Douluo flew directly to Xiandao City and burned it with his own solar true fire. Finally, Jin Ringsu directly consumed the 2 large quantities of whale glue. The 100,000-year-old whale glue was so potent that Jin Ringsu not only broke through to the Soul Emperor level, but her physical fitness also significantly improved, reaching the level of a Soul Douluo. Jin Douluo also gave Jin Ringsu the torso bone from the angel suit for her to absorb. After Jin Ringsu absorbed the energy, Jin Douluo personally took her to the Xingdao Great Forest to hunt a 75,000-year-old holy Pegasus of light. She then obtained the spirit skill Angel's Roar, a sonic-based psychic attack. Jin Douluo was even considering how to get his granddaughter a 100,000-year spirit ring. P.S. I'm assuming Poseidon doesn't know about the wonderful uses of whale glue, otherwise, the spirit ring configurations of the 7 sacred pillars Douluo wouldn't be so low. Poseidon only knows that whale glue is a natural treasure useful for sea spirit beasts and aphrodisiac for humans. After all, the proper use of whale glue is in Douluo II. Chapter 71, City of Slaughter, I. After many days of traveling with Qianjin Jiangmo, Li Luochen finally arrived at a small town. The town looked small, but upon entering, Li Luochen sensed something strange about the atmosphere. He felt a distinct chill emanating from the people around him. Murderous intent, Li Luochen thought to himself. Qianjin Jiangmo led Li Luochen to a tavern in the town. The air inside was murky, and Li Luochen noticed that all the decor was black. Although it was daytime outside, the moment he entered, he felt a chill and darkness. Very dark, not a place for people to hang out. The tavern was about 30% full. Despite the murky air, few people spoke, making it seem quite quiet. Qianjin Jiangmo and Li Luochen's arrival attracted a lot of attention, but most glanced past him before passing on. Qianjin Jiangmo and Li Luochen sat in the center. A waiter dressed in black and with a stoic expression approached. "What would you like to order?" "Give us 3 Bloody Marys," Qianjin Douluo said calmly. The waiter's expression changed slightly. "Are you sure?" But he was met with a cold glance from Jiangmo Douluo. He dared not say anything and turned away. A moment later, 3 cups of murky liquid were brought up. The liquid was dark red and exuded a strong, fishy smell, as pungent as blood. Li Luochen looked at the liquid in the cup. Human blood? Or poisonous human blood? My 2 masters wouldn't let me drink it, right? Xiachen, drink it, Qianjin Douluo said with his eyes closed, while Jiangmo Douluo toyed with his panlong stick. "Oh, can I say no? I can't escape." Li Luochen drank it in one gulp. The liquid was slightly salty and a bit sour. The strong smell of blood instantly filled Li Luochen's taste and smell. "Puff, sorry, I couldn't help it. I really can't drink human blood. Ugh, this is a bit embarrassing for Fat Tiger." Violent vomiting shattered the tranquility of the tavern, drawing the attention of every patron. A roar of laughter erupted. "Where did you come from, you little brat? Go home. This isn't the place for you. You can't even handle a Bloody Mary, and you still want to get in. Haha, go home and feed your mother." All sorts of obscene voices filled the tavern. The patrons, seemingly finding a release amidst their repression, let loose without reservation. Even after vomiting everything in his stomach, he couldn't completely banish the bloody smell. Li Luochen nearly vomited bile. It was the first time in his life that he had vomited so violently. He slowly took out a water bag, drank some water, and rinsed his mouth. When he finished, he looked at Qianjin Douluo, awaiting his instructions. Qianjin Douluo, without opening his eyes, pointed at the group and said, "Kill them all." The laughter died abruptly, and everyone looked at Qianjin Douluo with strange eyes. To be merciful to the enemy is to be cruel to yourself. No one who has made it this far has escaped death. "Kill them all, leaving no one behind," the demon subduing Douluo said calmly. Li Yusong, upon hearing this, stood up and unleashed his martial spirit, the coiled dragon staff. 5 soul rings materialized, yellow, purple, black, and black. His tyrant dragon battle body unleashed, he struck each of the seated men with his staff. Some tried to resist, but were crushed to pieces. Blood, bones, and scraps of flesh flew across the tavern. Li Yusong had never killed before, so he knew it would take time. So, he gave himself a powerful remedy and used all his might to smash them. The bodies were scattered here and there, and he had killed everyone in the most disgusting way. Li Yusong, recovering from his battle, trembled and paled at the sight of the remains of bones and flesh scattered across the floor. A horrible smell threatened to rise, but having just vomited, he only retched. Li Yusong's eyes were red. It was his first time killing someone, so he took a deep breath. Dizziness was normal. Liang Gaiao's house, Li Yusong activated his head soul bone to quickly regulate his emotions. He took a deep breath and stood up. Looking at the remains of the corpse, though still a little nauseous, his eyes had a hint of indifference. Not bad, kid, you got out pretty quickly. See that hole under the bar? It's the Slaughter City. The latest novels are released on the 6-9 book bar. Remember, once you enter the Slaughter City, you can only rely on yourself. I won't be by your side, let alone protect you. There are no friends or allies there, only enemies. Kill all who pose a threat. Achieve 100 victories in the Hell-killing fields, then cross the Hell Road. Your mission is accomplished. Survive and let me and my brother see how powerful you will be. Go ahead, said the demon subduing Douluo, hooking his arm around Li Yusong's shoulder. Li Yusong glanced at the master and second masters, walked towards the bar, and jumped into the hole. Only Qianjin Douluo and Jiangmo Douluo remained in the bar. Brother, can this kid make it? I was a little impressed at first, but he can't just hang around here, right? Jiangmo Douluo said uncertainly, his chin resting on his hand. Xiachen is quite extraordinary. He's incredibly talented. Sooner or later, he'll become a super Douluo, surpassing us without a doubt, but he's also aware of his flaws. He's seen too little blood, and even the strongest have emerged from corpses. Remember when we, Soul Emperors, battled a fallen Soul Douluo level Soul Master? We still have the scars he left on us. Because of that time, we've grown stronger and become even more coordinated. Together, we're fearless of any foe. Xiachen, if there are no ifs, he'll definitely make it, and he might even surpass Miss Qianjin Douluo had frequent contact with Li Yusong, visiting him roughly twice a month, and he knew his apprentice well. His apprentice's staff skills had reached a bottleneck, and he lacked momentum. The Slaughter City was perfect for him. That's good. The Slaughter King has been watching for so long, so it's time for him to show up, Demon subduing Douluo said to a certain point in the void. He, Spirit Hall's Qianjin Douluo and Demon subduing Douluo, how come you have time to come to my Slaughter City? Are you trying to cultivate another slaughter god? The Slaughter King wore a blood-red robe, shrouded in a massive scarlet cloak with a stand-up collar. His face was pale, middle-aged, with blood-red hair and eyes. From a distance, he looked like a blood-stained shadow. Do you need to know how the Spirit Hall works? The boy who entered is a key training target for my Spirit Hall. Don't try any tricks, or else Slaughter City, you should know. Qianjin Douluo looked at the Slaughter King coldly. The Slaughter King was furious, but helpless. Qianjin and Demon subduing Douluo were both level 96, and together they could defeat a level 98. He was no match for them, so he could only endure it. Moreover, all the supplies for Slaughter City were sent by the Spirit Hall, and its lifeline depended on it. HMPH, if he dies in the killing field, don't blame me. After saying that, the King of Slaughter left, and Qianjin Jiangmo also left, telling them that they needed to return to the worship hall. Chapter 72, City of Slaughter, Part 2. Li Yusong leaped into the hollow. He fell into darkness, only a few meters below. Thanks to the powerful mental power of his skull, he could clearly see everything in the darkness. A long corridor slanted downward, a chilling aura constantly blowing against Li Yusong's body. But he strode forward. When Li Yusong had taken 1,462 steps, a cold voice suddenly rang out from all directions. Welcome to the City of Slaughter. This is the capital of Hell, a world rife with slaughter. Here, you can obtain anything you desire, but the price is your life. Li Yusong released his mental power and sensed the unique material of the corridor, impenetrable even to his own mental power. His expression changed slightly, but he quickly released it. This was the city of slaughter, truly eerie. Could this be considered a different kind of soul palace? He. Turning a corner, he saw a faint light ahead. Li Luochen saw a large gate, and with his mental power, he sensed the presence of life on the other side. Li Luochen strode forward, faintly hearing a clamor. As he emerged from the corridor, 101 men appeared before him. All clad in black armor, even their faces obscured by helmets. 100 of them wielded heavy swords. Only one man sat upright atop a towering warhorse, also covered in thick black armor. You disobeyed. The knight's words were barely uttered before Li Luochen dispatched him with a single blow of his staff. Villains die because they talk too much? The ancients were not wrong. Li Luochen didn't even glance at the deceased knight. He had just hurled the pan-long staff. Throwing a 9,000-kilogram object must have exerted a force of at least 10 tons. Was he kidding? What Li Luochen saw now was a black city. Thick black walls stretched immensely. It truly was a city, and above it, a purple moon hung. The moon was low, seemingly less than 500 meters from the ground. Looking up, everything was pitch black, as if it were night. By the way, it seems an ID card is required. Li Luochen turned around and searched the knight's corpse, finally finding a token. A skull was carved on the token, and below it was a number, 5,438. 5,438, huh? Zhao, I'm 38. What kind of luck is this? This damn knight is playing tricks on me. Li Luochen summoned his club and lashed out at the bastard knight. After venting his anger for a while, Li Luochen had no choice but to continue forward. The pitch-black city gate gave off an extremely oppressive feeling. Across the massive gate, the words City of Slaughter were etched in large letters. 2 rows of black-armored warriors stood silently before Li Luochen presented his ID card. A woman with a black veil emerged. Welcome to the City of Slaughter. The woman's voice was pleasant. She stepped aside in front of Li Luochen and gestured for him to come in. Li Luochen followed the woman through the city gate. Entering the city, he was greeted by a world of blue and purple. The lights lining the streets emitted only these 2 types of light. There were quite a few people here, and no one noticed him as an outsider. Aside from the gloom, at first glance, it seemed no different from any other city. Something was amiss. This wasn't supposed to be a chaotic place, wasn't it? It felt a bit peaceful here. I'm your guide. If you have any questions, feel free to ask me. Within 12 hours, I'll answer all your questions. After 12 hours, this will be where you live. You'll officially become a member of the Slaughter City. The woman in black veil went on to explain everything about the Slaughter City and its rules. Oh, so there's an inner city and an outer city. I forgot. That makes sense. Let's go to the hell-killing fields. Li Luochen stared at this place with boredom. It would be best to leave this damn place quickly, or else he'd go crazy. The black veil girl was stunned for a moment. Are you sure? Less than 1 in 10 people who enter there can make it out alive. It's also the place in our Slaughter City where population decline is most likely. Everyone is only required to enter the hell-killing fields once a year. If they survive 1 battle, they can live in Slaughter City for another year. Li Luochen said calmly. I'm sure you're being secretive. Li Luochen's words infuriated the black-veiled girl, but she had no choice but to lead the way. It wasn't long before they arrived at the inner city, the most chaotic part of Slaughter City. As soon as they entered, Li Luochen immediately sensed a stark contrast to the outer city. If the outer city was a world of dead silence and indifference, then the inner city was a world of extravagance and madness. Lights of all colors were everywhere. The inner city was far more populous than the outer city, a stark contrast to the outer city's tranquility. The inner city was a scene of utter chaos. Everywhere there were excited laughter, cries of pain, and many other horrifying sounds. Continuing inside, Li Luochen finally experienced the true meaning of curiosity. Sure enough, people without moral restraints are no different from animals. That's right, the bloodshed was truly breathtaking. Li Luochen watched silently, speechless. After all, he'd just seen blood, and it was still a little strange. Seeing more would help him get used to it. Is it really okay to indulge in such curiosity on the street? It completely changed Li Luochen's perspective. The real world is truly different. No wonder people who leave the City of Slaughter are so abnormal. Li Luochen suddenly realized that in this City of Slaughter, he didn't need to consciously control his murderous intent. It surged forth uncontrollably. It seemed that only through slaughter could he release the pent-up anger within him. It was so simple and brutal, but as cultivators, we should be fearless. Ali Jai, let me give myself a little bit of a Chunyabaku, middle school mentality, first. I wonder if my Chunyabaku, middle school mentality, will leave me once I get out of here. Suddenly, a burly blond man rushed out from the side, his eyes blazing red. His massive hands tore through one enemy after another. Run. Blood Tiger's gone mad again. Run. The latest novel is being published on the 69th Book Forum. The man named Blood Tiger looked only in his 30s, but his face was ferocious, as if he was venting something. His body was covered in the blood of others. Li Luochen watched this Blood Tiger with great interest. Kill more so I can get used to it faster. Thankfully, I haven't eaten anything, or I'd vomit again. The people around Blood Tiger dispersed, but his eyes remained red. He looked at Li Luochen, who was closest to him, and charged directly at him. Li Luochen, no, the messenger is right next to me? Are you going after me? Li Luochen looked back and saw that the messenger was already more than 10 meters away, watching him with interest. You're not allowed to mess with me, Chaos. Li Luochen summoned the Panlong staff, dodging Blood Tiger's attack. He then swung the staff at his head. Strangely, Blood Tiger blocked it with his other hand, but the shockwaves still made him dizzy, and his entire body began to shake. Li Luochen then struck him in the stomach, but it was also blocked. This was Blood Tiger's strong fighting instinct, which was exactly what Li Luochen wanted. After 2 heavy blows, Blood Tiger's eyes became clearer. He shook his head, looked at Li Luochen, who was a head shorter than him, and walked away. An ordinary soul sage would have suffered a comminuted fracture from Li Luochen's staff, but Blood Tiger was able to block it. He must have a beast martial spirit, and a top-level beast martial spirit at that, and should have soul bones. Chapter 73 Hell Killing Field. Blood Tiger left immediately, and Li Luochen followed a woman in black veil. The woman in black veil was still astonished by Li Luochen's strength. She hadn't expected this man, who seemed to have a more than respectable appearance, to possess such power. You're setting me up, aren't you? You're deliberately walking so far. Li Luochen looked at the woman in black veil with a cold expression. HMPH. Who told you not to keep up? You're so powerful, right? That's Blood Tiger, the man who won 48 consecutive matches in the Hell Killing Fields, who's killed dozens of soul Daulus, even 2 or 3 title Daulus. The woman in black veil sized Li Luochen up and down. How could this man be so powerful? The woman in black veil then continued to lead Li Luochen towards the Hell Killing Fields. Led by the woman in black veil, Li Luochen came upon a unique building. It was circular, or more accurately, an irregular cone. Its area was largest at the bottom, narrowing as it went upwards. At a height of approximately 30 meters, it maintained the same diameter, extending upwards to 50 meters. The black building gave off a depressing feeling. The girl in black veil explained to Li Luochen that this hell killing ground was located at the heart of the entire killing city. This spoke volumes about its importance within the killing city. Upon entering the killing ground, Li Luochen immediately registered, taking down a few scumbags along the way and earning a few Bloody Marys. Li Luochen immediately entered the competition, and his killing journey began. He felt that killing city wasn't suitable for a normal person like him, so he didn't want to spend even a single day there. After winning 100 matches, he would become champion and challenge Hell Road. Then he could leave. He had decided that the battle would begin today, right now. Staying there for too long would lead to madness and could affect his children's genes. It was best to leave early. Killing City is truly an inhuman place, but in order to become stronger, I'm temporarily abandoning my human nature. His killing journey began from that day forward. In this dark world, this world of blood and depravity, he must not only win every battle, but also make it out alive. 3 days after entering the slaughter city, Li Luochen had already slain over 3 digits of fallen. And he'd only participated in 5 matches. The real fear in this place wasn't the enemies within the hell-killing grounds, but the constant sneak attacks he faced after the matches, when he was at his weakest. Fortunately, Li Luochen knew the rules of the land, so he never let his guard down, dispatching attackers with lightning speed. Not a single fallen corpse remained intact, each was blasted to pieces by Li Luochen. The ground was littered with yellow, white, and red brains, gallbladders, and viscera. Li Luochen's brutality earned him the nickname Stick Demon upon his arrival in the slaughter city. No one was left intact at the hands of the Stick Demon, and the Stick Demon had already defeated the Blood Tiger upon its initial appearance, intimidating the fallen. Since then, Li Luochun's life has become much quieter. As expected, establishing one's authority is best at the beginning. A month later, Li Luochun's victory count in the Hell Killing Grounds had risen to 12. Those who dared to launch sneak attacks on him were now dwindling. But his opponents grew stronger. As his wins increased, he learned another rule: each new match, the opponent he faced could not have participated in the Hell-Killing match 5 times less than him. This was true unless everyone had participated in fewer matches than him, exceeding that number. A year later, Li Luochun had won 77 matches, leaving every opponent mutilated. To his surprise, a soul Douluo dropped a soul bone. It was a head soul bone. When it dropped, the killing grounds erupted, and Li Luochun was constantly attacked. Soul bones, especially head soul bone, were crucial in the killing city, effectively warding off murderous aura. That day, Li Luochun emerged from a mountain of corpses, activating the Tyrannosaurus Rex spine to amplify his power. He would strike down a fallen with one club, or two if that didn't work. That time, Li Luochun slew hundreds of fallen, their bodies piled up like a mountain. He could slay 100 in a single slaughter, a true king. From then on, no one dared to challenge Li Luochun again. The fallen knew the stick demon had the ability to protect their soul bone. When Li Luochun wasn't out killing, he'd spend his days in his room reading, painting, and practicing Tai Chi. This wasn't to cultivate his spirit, but to control his murderous aura. Ever since he'd reached 50 victories, the buildup of it had been causing Li Luochun to get mad from time to time. This wasn't good. Letting emotions get the better of him could lead to a quick death, just like Blood Tiger had that day, going berserk on the streets. He'd have to control his murderous aura sooner or later, so why not do it sooner? It did have some effect, at least allowing Li Luochun to think calmly. He just needed to complete 23 more bouts, and the Hell Road would be a difficult hurdle. Now, as Li Luochun walked the streets, the fallen looked at him with respect, simply out of admiration. Li Luochun was currently at the top of the leaderboard, while Blood Tiger was second, with 57 bouts to his name. Furthermore, Li Luochun noticed that Blood Tiger had been watching him since his 60th win streak. He felt something was wrong with him. We wouldn't meet after more than 50 bouts. He wanted to see through my tactics? And then take me down specifically? Overthinking. We wouldn't meet. Now, with 77 matches to go, it would probably take another 6 months to achieve a perfect victory in the killing field. It was almost time. He'd be leaving this bizarre place soon. Any longer would drive him mad. Absorbing the killing aura was incredibly transformative. Li Luochun used to be somewhat arrogant, a bit harsh, and a bit dark and mean. Now, he was radiant with murderous intent, his expression stern, like a cold-faced Ashura. This was because he'd killed so many people, and he'd become somewhat indifferent to life. To prevent this warped state, Li Luochun began reciting the core socialist values and, in his free time, painting or practicing calligraphy. As the ancients had said, the arts of music, chess, calligraphy, and painting had their own uses. Li Luochun felt he didn't even need to go to Yuxuan anymore. He could control his killing aura in 6 months. When it came to cultivating the mind and maintaining health, who could surpass the efforts of the Chinese ancestors? For generations, we plant trees, and future generations enjoy the shade. It's a blessing to stand on the shoulders of giants. The latest novel is now available on the 6ix9ine book forum. Next, Li Luochun will visit the Hell Killing Grounds every 2 days and then confine himself for 5 days. Because his ranking is so high, no one dares to challenge him, so he can only participate anonymously. When the time comes, someone will invite him. After a year in Slaughter City, Li Luochun's soul power has increased by 1 level, reaching level 59. He's still a long way from level 60, his ultimate attributes are so slow. However, Li Luochun's strength has greatly increased. He's confident he can instantly kill 10 of his former selves. If he can be like Master Yi, I'll beat 10 of them. Master, Blood Tiger is here. He wants to see you, Li Luochun's guard said. Because of Li Luochun's immense fame in Slaughter City, he wanted to recruit a handyman, but the people of Slaughter City were fighting over him. The rules of the Slaughter City are that you grab what you want, and only those who get it are considered the real deal. Over 100 people signed up, but only 6 remained standing. Li Luochun kept only 1, a guard named Lin Shenken. At 41, he was the youngest of the 6. His spirit was the one-horned black demon dragon, a dragon-born spirit with the bloodline of the dark holy dragon. He possessed the cultivation of a soul sage and had won 21 consecutive games in the slaughter fields. Li Yusong, feeling his youth and ability, along with his decent spirit, decided to keep him. Was he afraid of a backstab? Let's look into Douluo's poisonous properties. Back to the present. Why is he here? Let him in and see what tricks he has, Li Yusong commanded. Chapter 74 The Origin of the Blood Tiger. Soon, Lin Chenkin opened a door, and a 2-meter-tall, middle-aged man with blonde hair, animal red eyes, and several scars at the corners of his mouth entered. Stick Demon, long time no see. I never thought that the newcomer who first arrived at Slaughter City a year ago would now be its strongest gladiator. Blood Tiger spoke first, his voice thick and icy. What's your business? Blood Tiger, what are you doing here? Li Yusong said coldly. The air around them suddenly dropped, leaving Blood Tiger feeling a piercing chill and shocked at Li Yusong's strength. Murderous intent materialized, terrifying brat, Stick Demon, I'm here to inquire about cooperation. You should be from the Spirit Hall, right? Blood Tiger pointed out Li Yusong's identity. So what? Cooperation? What do you mean by that? Li Yusong said coldly, the temperature dropping again. Li Yusong's murderous aura pierced like a sword. If Blood Tiger couldn't give him a satisfactory answer, he wouldn't mind wiping him out on the spot. Would you like to hear my story first? Blood Tiger asked tentatively. No, I don't want to. My name is Dai Xiangxing, and I'm from the Xingluo Empire. I was born into a family of great generals. My father was a general under the old emperor, and he fought many battles for him. To further win his favor, the old emperor married his daughter to him. My mother, the second princess of Xingluo, had a decent cultivation level. Not long after marrying my father, my eldest brother, Dai Xiangxing, was born. 3 years later, I was born. We had a happy life. But my father's injuries were too severe, and he passed away 3 years after I was born. As generals, life was relatively good until my brother and I awakened our martial spirits, each a mutant tiger. My brother and I both had innate spirit power of level 9. The old emperor saw our talent and sent us to the White Tiger sect, founded by the imperial family, to train. My brother and I worked very hard. Because the old emperor was like our grandfather, he had been brainwashed into doing everything for the Xingluo Empire. My brother and I practiced tirelessly. I reached the Grand Soul Master level at 9, the Soul Master level at 14, the Soul Sect level at 19, the Soul King level at 23, the Soul Emperor level at 29, and the Soul Sage level at 37. My eldest brother and I were about to take over as stewards of the White Tiger sect, but something unexpected happened. I clashed with the Black Tiger sect using my absolute strength. I crippled a Black Tiger sect Soul Sage Elder, forging a feud with him. Later, the Black Tiger sect, under the banner of the Spirit Hall, pressured the imperial family. At the time, the old emperor was in seclusion, and state affairs were controlled by the crown prince and empress. Since my mother wasn't born to the empress, but to her sworn enemy, the empress took advantage of the situation to suppress my family. I was directly injured by a soul Douluo and then sent to the Slaughter City. I spent 6 years there. I wanted to escape. I wanted revenge. I wanted to see my mother and eldest brother again. Stick Demon, you must be the Holy Son secretly cultivated by the Spirit Hall. It's said that the previous Holy Maiden successfully passed the training in Slaughter City. You must have also undergone training. I beg you to take me out. The story was touching, but Li Yusong was now emotionless. And such things were of no use to him. What's the benefit? Don't you know the rules of Slaughter City? Even if I were the Spirit Hall, why would I help someone from the Star Luo Empire? Li Yusong said coldly. He didn't want to be such a pushover. As long as you can let me out, I can directly acknowledge you as my master and serve you. Besides, I have already broken through to the Soul Douluo level, and I'm only 1/8 soul ring away. I believe you should need a loyal Soul Douluo servant, Zuhu said, bowing and begging Li Yusong. How could a man bow to others? But family is more important than dignity. You seem quite filial, don't you? Okay, I agree. You take the poison, and I have the antidote. Let me see your resolve, Li Yusong said, pulling out a porcelain bottle and pouring out a black pill. If Lin Chenkin saw this, he'd definitely say, I know this. Blood Tiger Dai Xiangxing looked at the black pill and thought, his hesitation instantly turning into determination. He took the pill and swallowed it. The moment he swallowed, he felt something eroding his body, a deeply oppressive feeling. Then, looking at Li Yusong, he said, I hope you'll keep your promise, or I'll self-destruct and make you pay. Tisk, I'm not a good person, but I'll keep my promises. As the saying goes, a man without integrity cannot stand. A truly powerful person always keeps his word, because lies are just underhanded tactics. Li Yusong suddenly got carried away and uttered something childish. However, he had indeed now condensed his own unique staff spirit, a power unparalleled in its dominance. This was a uniquely created domain spirit skill that blended soul power, mental strength, aura, and murderous aura. Similar to the later dragon god Douluo Moon's reign over the world, Li Yusong named it Daozun Xiandi. He also felt he would soon realize the true realm of his martial spirit, but lacked the necessary opportunity. The latest novel is now available on the 69th Book Forum. Li Yusong once used Daozun Xiandi to attack a soul Douluo, but the opponent remained silent, stunned by his domineering aura, somewhat reminiscent of Kato's wielding of Conqueror's Haki. Li Yusong suddenly found this method of attack quite fascinating, one blow to silence. King Addiction was indeed powerful, but it was usually shattered by Li Yusong's blows, making it impossible to roll his eyes. Recruiting a soul Douluo who was both young and talented was a pleasant surprise. From now on, all Shrek Academy's security guards would have to be soul Douluos, otherwise it would be unworthy of the continent's premier academy. The poison Li Yusong had given Dai Xiangxing and Lin Chenkin was a slow-acting poison. Without an antidote within a month, the poison would kill them. He wouldn't trust anyone based on a few words. People's hearts are hidden, so it's best to be cautious. A cautious approach is always the best choice. Gusheng Li Changshao is honest and I won't lie to you. Li Yusong then continued his quest for 100 victories in the killing field. The more he won, the harder it became to control his murderous intent. He stayed home for 2 weeks to digest the effects of his murderous aura until he reached 98 victories. If he couldn't control his murderous aura, he would surely stumble on the hell road. The bat swarms and the 10-headed blazing sun snakes were no match for him. He had to cultivate his murderous aura. Murderous aura is also power. Power is controlled, not controlled by power. Fallen soul masters, like them, are mere rubbish controlled by power. They can't even control their own power, and yet they expect to reach higher levels? Ridiculous. Li Yusong felt the murderous aura within him erupting, like a reservoir about to overflow and undergo a transformation. Li Yusong guessed that he had enough killing energy. As long as he passed the hell road, he could condense it into the killing god domain. Domain-type soul skills are still very powerful. The killing god domain can also weaken the opponent. The enemy's weakening is equal to our own strengthening. It is a perfect soul skill. P.S. Blood Tiger Dai Xiangxing is the incarnation of a book friend. He will be the security guard of Shrek Academy in the future. Shrek is so powerful, hehe. Chapter 75 The King of Killing. The Slaughter City, a dark and spacious room. There was an exceptionally large chair, inlaid with blue and purple crystals. These crystals formed the shape of a drum tower. Aside from the chair, everything here was a dark red. The stick demon has won 98 consecutive games, a cold female voice echoed in the darkness. I know, a tall figure sat down on the giant chair. In the darkness, his features could not be seen clearly, only that he was tall and thin. Great King. Should we begin contacting him? It's been a long time since a truly powerful person has joined the Slaughter City. Do you think it's possible? Asked the tall man sitting upright in the chair. He comes from the Spirit Hall, personally sent here by 2 level 96 Super Douluo. You can imagine his status. With a killing god in the Spirit Hall, we're invincible. Furthermore, the Spirit Hall also supplies the Slaughter City with supplies. Let him go to Hell Road. He'll just be another killing god in the Spirit Hall, but he deserves it, the Slaughter King said coldly. He only cared about his own little plot, the continent had nothing to do with him. With a wave of his hand, a thick, dark red liquid flew out from before him. In the darkness, he revealed a vast pool of blood, thick with gore. He opened his mouth and swallowed the blood, his fangs faintly visible in the dim light. A week later, Li Yusong wielded the Panlong staff, crushing his final opponent and declaring his unbroken victory in the slaughter field. Stick demon, Li Yusong's eyes narrowed, and a near-tangible murderous aura suddenly formed a vast vortex in the air. The vast arena, surrounded by the vast number of fallen spectators, fell silent under the overwhelming murderous aura he emanated. He disliked the nickname Stick Demon, it was so unrefined and unpleasant, and the thought of his number being 5,438 only made his mood worse. Everyone present considered the stick demon the most terrifying being. None of his opponents ever left a complete corpse, only a fragment of bones remained. The stick demon's battles were all about shattering bodies, and most often, heads. This form of attack was terrifying. "Congratulations, young stick demon king," a deep, sharp voice suddenly echoed from all directions. The murderous aura emanating from Li Yusong suddenly rushed back at the sound of the voice, being forced back into his body. Li Yusong frowned. The real culprit had arrived. The atmosphere within the hell-killing field suddenly reached a fever pitch as a blood-red figure descended from the sky. "King of slaughter! King of slaughter! King of slaughter!" The shouts hoarsed the fallen, but they show no sign of stopping. Li Yusong gazed at the figure in the sky, his demeanor composed. He was merely trying to scare him. Would he, the king of slaughter, dare to touch him? My father, Zhang. A disciple of the spirit hall, dare to touch him? A tall man, shrouded in a vast scarlet cloak. His face pale, his eyes bloodshot, his body slowly descending from the air, seemingly unaffected by gravity's constraints. I am delighted to witness the birth of a formidable figure in the slaughter field today. It's been over a decade since the emergence of Beishen. The stick demon, with his immense strength and terrifying murderous aura, makes you tremble, don't you, my people? Yes, 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 the king of slaughter seemed to possess a unique charisma, inspiring a near-mad admiration from all the fallen upon seeing him. Respected king of slaughter, I imagine you'll make an exception and allow me to become a killing god, and then a guest official of the killing city, Li Yusong sneered. King of slaughter. How would you know? No need for your mercy, king of slaughter. I'm a troublesome person, and I'm afraid you, the respected king of slaughter, would be annoyed. I choose to take the hell road, Li Yusong continued. By the way, great king, if I pass the hell road and become a killing god, I'd like to ask you for 2 people. Is that all right? I believe I have the right to do so. You wouldn't want to offend the spirit hall, would you? Li Yusong grinned, half threatening the king of slaughter. The king of slaughter's expression was icy. Although Li Yusong's words were respectful, he felt uncomfortable, but he had no choice. He couldn't afford to offend the spirit hall. As you wish. Remember to take me to greet the female killing god of the spirit hall after you pass the hell road, the king of slaughter said coldly. A thick red mist suddenly erupted from the slaughter king, its overwhelming aura forcing Li Yusong to retreat rapidly. He retreated dozens of meters before he could barely bear it. The slaughter king emanated not murderous intent, but an aura of extreme evil, a chill so intense it would stiffen the very bones of the body. The sinister, icy crimson ripples slowly spread, engulfing the entire audience in the blink of an eye. The fallen in the audience were incredibly excited, eager to witness the opening of the hell road. However, they were unaware that their own lives had already come to an end. Aside from the god of slaughter and the slaughter king, no one had ever witnessed the opening of the hell road. Those who had seen it had died, or rather, had become sacrifices. The latest novels are now available on the 6th book bar. Although the red light emanating from the Lord of Slaughter brought immense pressure to them, it wasn't directed at them. Instead, it was directed toward the surrounding stands. The fallen, who had been cheering frantically, gradually quieted as the red light descended upon the stands. Each fallen's eyes gradually grew glazed, then turned bloodshot. Soon, as the red light formed a massive barrier across the entire hell-killing field, screams of pain began to emanate from those first exposed to the red light. Under the influence of the red light, the fallen seemed to go half-mad, desperately clawing at their faces and bodies. Soon, blood spilled onto the ground, pooling, flowing like streams. Through inconspicuous, thin pipes beneath the spectators' seats, it flowed toward the center of the killing field. Countless streams of the red liquid were clearly visible, flowing into the field like tiny snakes. It is their honor to be the sacrifice that opens the hell road, the Lord of Slaughter's deep voice boomed. At this time, the screams had gradually subsided. Apart from Li Yusong and the King of Slaughter, there seemed to be no living person here. Li Yusong already knew that there would be a sacrifice to open the road to hell, so he had a blank expression on his face. For this reason, he ordered Dai Xiangxing and Lin Chenkin not to look at him as if he had one. He didn't want to see 2 servants who looked pleasing to the eye and had good strength disappear. This would be a huge loss. Blood flowed into the field. It did not spread in a straight line. On the ground, grooves appeared at some point. The blood flowed into them, and gradually, It gathered into a huge blood-red pattern on the ground. Good luck on the road to hell. The king of slaughter had left, and Li Yusong was swallowed by the blood-red color, but the white murderous aura on his body protected him from being hurt. Not long after, Li Yusong opened his eyes again, and he had arrived at a platform with a diameter of 5 meters. Hell Road, here I come. End of this chapter. Thank you so much for reading until the end. Don't forget to give it a like. Looking for more exclusive content and immediate access? Subscribe to our Patreon. Remember, every like, subscription or donation encourages us to continue. Thank you all. See you in the next video.